conversation, I want to preface this with I talk honey because I had a stroke, so please don't talk fast and confuse me.
No worries. Happy to accommodate.
Thank you.
Oh God. I saw your comment, and I get that could easily be the perception, and I would never want to say that like your perception isn't reality. But I'm curious as to what maybe you can expand on why you think that I'm mean.
I just kind of watch you all the time because I have questions. Like, I have general questions. I don't want you to be in an echo chamber. Obviously, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a MAGA either. I'm not like, oh, Trump is the savior of the world. But, so
You okay? I can't hear you.
You cut out a little bit with that.
Oh, sorry. But, I'll see some people you just tear into them, like when
Sure.
they ask a question.
Sure. I think I don't want to make excuses. I think that I try and measure myself in a way all the time, and I think that when I am mean, or when I lose my temper, or when I am more pointed than I am normally, it is at the other end of a question that is not well-meaning or in good faith, or is somebody being one of the isms or phobias. And so when somebody says something very homophobic or very racist, and not in a way that is asking questions, but is asking to be pointed, asking as if it's a gotcha, I'm under no obligation to treat somebody who is bigoted with like kindness, because they are not offering kindness to the people that they are speaking about. So there's no like we are under no obligation to suffer fools. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yes.
And I get that that's intimidating for 99% of people that would want to just ask good questions and maybe don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers. And I would love to talk to people. If it spurred better conversation, sure. I think that there's a lot of conversations in here that are good and calm and fine.
Yeah, no, like I had you bring up Monica the other night because we both had the same situation. So like, please bring her up because I want to know what's going on with the cancer patients, and she explained it beautifully.
Yeah.
That was very informative for me.
Great. Sorry to hear that. Also.
No, it's okay. I didn't say that. I was just saying that I do learn stuff on here.
Great. And that, I say this about you guys and other people all the time in here who watch this, who are on the other side, who are angry at me and the way that some of these conversations go. I think it says a lot about people who can sit and watch somebody who they disagree with and still learn things. And I think that you and people like you are the people that I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the most ardent, the most defensive sort of people with harmful beliefs or ideologies. I'm talking to the people who are in here, who disagree with me, but are still learning things. And I think that says a lot about you and a lot about people in here in that situation. And I applaud that. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy tact. I don't know that I am capable. I sit in other people's lives and they say things and I get furious about what they're saying, and I'm not always in that mindset. So I think that's commendable.
I get called transphobic all the time, and I live with my niece. My niece, and she's transphobic. I'm very respectful. I address her exactly how she wants to be addressed. I've never in my life used her bed name ever. I would never. And I'm very Christian. But we live together peacefully.
Is that...
Just because you're Christian or Republican doesn't make you transphobic is my biggest point, I guess.
It doesn't make you not transphobic, though. I think
no, it doesn't.
Sure. I think that if that's something that you would want to work on, maybe deepen your understanding of your sister. Is that what you're saying?
No, my niece.
Your niece, I'm sorry. There are plenty of people within this community, in my little community, and in that community that will that are more again, have better vocabulary to talk to you about why certain things are homophobic, whether or not you mean them to be, and
Right.
whether the intention is not transphobia or homophobia, but is regardless. And I think that's something that's a hard thing for people to let go of. Is like, I know that I've done things in my life where I'm like, that's not what I meant. You know, and don't be mad at me because I didn't mean it that way. It doesn't matter
Right.
what the intention is. It is how it is received by the person that is the only thing
Right.
ultimately that matters. And all you have to do is just be like, I didn't know that. I understand what you're saying. I'll do better next time. It is.
No,
and
Mike,
that's-
I'll give you a hot tip on the bathroom thing, okay?
Okay.
So, then now you're going to call me transphobic, but I'm not, I swear.
Okay.
Well, I don't mean to be. It might sound it, but
Okay.
I think the bathroom thing is like the priesthood. You got a bunch of bad priests, and they hide in the priesthood so they can get away with crap. And then you got a bunch of bad people, and they use the trans community as a cover, and then that's where the fear comes from.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
It would if that were happening.
It's
it's
not
not
exactly a one-to-one comparison.
It does. Mr. Beast, little sidekick
Mr.
guy.
Beast?
Yeah, his little sidekick is trans, and I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that.
No, you're fine. You keep
He
going.
just got in trouble for dating a 13-year-old.
It's not exactly what happened.
That's not at all what happened.
Okay, you can correct me.
She made lewd comments apparently around said minor, but they've come out repeatedly and insisted that no sort of inappropriate
Impropriety.
activity occurred, no sort of
thought there was photos.
acts were committed, or even anything close to that. No language around that.
Okay, I have no problem being corrected, like I said.
Okay. Well, there's that. But like what the hang up is about somebody using the bathroom that they want to go in and feel comfortable in. What is that? What is the worry there?
I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old daughter,
Okay.
and I'm scared.
But the implication
Name
there
of fear.
is
Now you
Sure.
put someone in there that looks like I don't want to say Blair White because I know she's problematic, but she's beautiful. You put someone in there that looks like her, I'm not going to question it. Obviously, I'm not going to want to see your genitals, but if you're walking in there with a full-on beard and I can see you're not tucking, I'm scared with my baby being in the bathroom with you. I'm sorry.
scared.
I am.
Scared of what?
I think that kind of litmus test harms more cisgendered people than it does trans. And we're already seeing the Olympian, right now the boxer, being labeled as a trans person, as a man, and the violence and the threats that are coming their way. They're not trans, but yet if
Right.
people insist that they are based on some
I know
litmus
that
test of
he's
looks,
not.
they're going to be barred, they're going to be denied services, they're going to be
a great
treated
point.
with violence.
Just because somebody doesn't look feminine enough for you when they go in the bathroom, that's a really great example. Is that like this?
I just get scared that they're fully intact and they have equipment that could harm my child. I
Yeah.
mean, a woman could do it, and I understand that.
I mean, grown
Yeah,
men can do that in a boys' restroom too.
Yeah, I know. I don't have boys. I have girls.
So fuck them kids.
Trans people are
No.
not literally. Don't do that. But
No, I mean that's where
trans
my fear-
people aren't.
I'm being honest with where my
Trans
fear
people
comes
aren't
from.
any more likely to assault people in restrooms than cisgendered people are. In fact, significantly less so.
That's kind of the point that I was going to get to,
Yeah.
which is the implication that trans people are weirdos.
I'm not trying to imply that. I'm saying
I know.
priests
I know you're
get
not-
behind that, and
I know you're not trying to, but that is the implication. That the implication is any non-passing trans person comes to the bathroom. What if a trans, what if they're passing, and then they're not dangerous anymore?
no, I don't know. I mean,
I know.
I see your point. I do.
Yeah,
My niece isn't passing if I'm honest.
Your audio's really quiet.
Right, but she's not.
your audio is really quiet. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, my niece isn't all the way passing yet. She's trying, but we live
Yeah,
in a
so-
podunk town, and thank goodness she's moving to New York, and she's going to have more
I think-
opportunities.
I think the fear is that cis men are scary. So I think put the fear there. Or don't. I don't know. I'm not handling this well. I don't know.
Men in general are scary when it comes to having daughters. I swear.
Right. I think that's what.
Trans women aren't men.
Can I say penises are scary when it comes to having daughters? Can I say that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm not sure.
I said, can I say penises are scary when it comes to having daughters?
I'd say assault.
But this investment is being made by the Biden administration, and if we can elect Kamala Harris, then that investment will continue.
It's not fixing. They're not fixing the power. We already make too much power.
All right, bro. You have a great rest of your night. All right. Yeah. Y'all be safe now.
What's going on?
What's up, Austin? How are you, man?
Good. How are you? I'm from Georgia.
And you're voting for Trump?
Yes, sir.
Jesus, why?
Probably just the way I raised, honestly. But my question for you is, I want to know what your thought process is on transgenderism versus mental illness.
What do you versus? They're two
what do you
different
stand on
things.
it? I guess it's more common in the South is that those that are transitioning to be a female or a female to a male is something called gender identity disorder, which others
playing
think
COD?
is just the free will. Say again?
You playing Call of Duty?
Yeah, I can mute it.
Warzone?
Yeah, I play some Warzone. Right now, I'm just playing Modern Warfare. You play?
No, but that's not the DSM-5 does not say that gender dysphoria or anything of that nature is a mental illness.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering if you thought it might be a mental illness or not, because
No, absolutely
one of the big things we run into in healthcare is when you identify as, say, a different pronoun, say you're, for this kind of example, female going to male, they use he, she. You come with a lot of problems with provider to provider, as some people say it should be, mental illness disorder is how it should be, and the doctor who learned anatomy should not, go against their biological gender.
That is not a thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You just go play COD. All right, go back. I don't even know, man. Arnett, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you so much, Arnett. Thank you. Saying keep up defending yourself against idiots. Well, we try. God, some of these folks. At Faith in Films again for the $5, saying why is your
people think it's you? Is that the fault of you?
No.
No.
This election is personal for me. Walz passed legislation that allowed me to provide end-of-life care for my mom. Wow. She was also a lunch lady, and that would never let anyone go hungry. Wow. Yo, Angela, that is fantastic. Governor Walz is awesome, and he's done a lot of great things, and I'm excited to have him be the next vice president of the United States. What a guy. What a fantastic guy. So thank you for the $20. Very kind. And Curtis, thank you for the $20 again as well, my man, saying, I'm sorry about these conspiracies those lunatics come up with because they have no hobbies and are too stupid to maintain a job. This is for the brain cells you just lost having this combo. I appreciate that, man. They come up with anything, don't they, these days? Just anything. It could be the craziest conspiracy theory you've ever heard. And they'll buy it. Donald Trump is now trying to say that Kamala Harris's crowds at her rallies are fake. Like they're edited in, they're AI, even though we have a bunch of videos from these rallies showing that they are very much real and Donald Trump and the Republicans are just coping, very much so. So anyway, if you are MAGA, let me know in the chat. I will bring you up. Oh, look at Kathy. Kathy, if you don't come up right now, look at Kathy. She says, it's good to know you'll be out of a job here soon, Harry. I can't wait. Kathy's talking the most. So here she comes. Thank God. Watch this. Just watch.
I actually hope you do lose your job.
Kathy, why do you support Trump?
Why do I support Trump? Well, geez, I voted for him in 2020. I voted for him in 2016, and I like a businessman. I'm a business person.
Can you name me 5 policies that Donald Trump got passed through Congress when he was president?
Take exit 127 toward Ada.
Sorry, I'm
Then
kind of
turn
like
right
driving
onto
because I'm
Finley
doing
Road toward
DoorDash.
Ada.
You could you can do both. You can think and drive.
Of course, I can multitask.
So 5 policies from Donald Trump's presidency that he got passed through Congress, please. Go ahead.
Let's see.
At the
Well,
light, use the right lane to turn onto Finley
good
Road.
to know. I'm
toward
sure
Ada.
you're getting the answers through your buddies.
My buddies,
Since
huh?
I have to go off top of my head.
Yep, that tells me everything I need to know. Thank you, Kathy. I just wanted to bring her up to prove a point. I knew the answer I was going to get from her. So thank you, Kathy, for being for proving our point. Appreciate that. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. You know the drill. Avery says he wants to join. Let's get him up here. Yeah, that told us everything we need to know. That told us everything we need to know. Avery, how are you, my man?
What's up, brother?
Not much. What can I do for you? Are you MAGA?
I wouldn't say MAGA, but I'm just I'm leaning more towards Trump. I mean, I was going on Harris's website. I didn't see any policies. I was just kind of confused on that.
Oh my God, I missed so many people on Venmo and Cash App. Wait, of all the people I missed on Cash App, Venmo, I promise it just glitched for me. It just came up now. Carrie told me to, anyway, I saw you, Carrie. I will in a second. I don't know why it just disappeared. Sorry, can you say that again? Why do you support Trump?
I wouldn't say, I think like with Harris at a rally, they had people twerking. I don't think that's okay. You think that's okay?
Megan Thee Stallion dancing is bad?
Or like shaking their booty in front of kids at a rally, is that okay?
She was dancing.
Is that okay?
She was dancing.
Oh, she was dancing, alright.
Yeah, is there something wrong with that? Right. Wait, so you, just to be clear, you think that's bad. So then you would definitely think it's bad that Donald Trump has cheated on every single one of his wives, right? And you would definitely think it's bad that he was found liable for assaulting a woman, right? And you would definitely think it's bad that Donald Trump said live on air that he would date his own daughter if she weren't his daughter. You'd also think it's bad that he called her voluptuous live on air. You'd also think it's bad that he bragged about assaulting a woman on an audio saying he grabs him by the blank, he doesn't even wait, he just does it. I think he's in the process of leaving right now. I'm not 100% sure. I'll continue. You'd also think it's bad that he said live on air that he walks into underage girls' changing rooms because he owned the place when he was talking about beauty pageants he used to run. So I assume that if you're coming up here and saying Megan Thee Stallion, a performer, an artist, dancing is inappropriate, then maybe you'd also say that those things are inappropriate, yeah? I think he's leaving, so there it is, Wow, who could have seen that one coming? What a terrible, who could have seen that one coming? Ginger, in the chat, look at her. She has American flag, she says, Trump 2024, huh? In her bio. What a terrible thing. What a terrible thing. But my promise, I made a promise to people that I'm going to go back to. So, Brent, thank you for the $20.24. Saying, love you, Harry. I'm running rapid in Texas trying to turn it blue. Hell yeah. Oh my God, Brent, you're amazing. I love you so much. Thank you, Brent, for being here. You're doing fantastic work. Keep it up. So glad to see you working hard in Texas. It can happen. It can happen. Killer, thank you for the $3 saying you cute. Lol. Thanks for being here another night. We need you. Shout out Killer. She's doing great work in her home state as well, getting people registered to vote. We love it. Peyton, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you. And Carrie, the amazing, wonderful Carrie. Thank you for the $47 on Venmo. Can we please get some W carries in the chat? My God, what an amazing person always here supporting. DNC is a week away. I'm there, and you have to be a huge part of it. What can you share at this point? What can I share? Well, I'm not speaking. At least I haven't gotten an invite to speak. I don't have like a major role or anything like that, but that's all I'll share. But Carrie, if you're there, well, I guess I can't say that, huh? Francesca, I just invited you. Come on up. I just invited you, Francesca. Feel free to come up. Venmo, Cash App in the link in bio. And we'll talk, yeah? Francesca was just spamming MAGA, and now she's not coming up. I don't know what the holdup is here. Don't know what the holdup is. What's going on? Look at Oliver spamming in the chat. MAGA, Trump 2024, that's what he put in the chat. God, it's really crazy how these people just expose themselves as lunatics, huh? Just very proudly. They're just like, yeah, I support Trump, a convicted felon. It's pretty remarkable. Dana Michelle? Dana Michelle? Should we bring that person up? Hold on. Whatever. I lost it. Clyn, Texas. Let's bring this guy up. Let's give him a shot. Oh, look at MAGA Mar in the chat. What a terrible person. How are you, man? Are you MAGA?
Good evening, Harry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Lively live this evening.
We try. We try. Are you voting for Trump?
Sure.
Why?
There's just no other option, my man. This is time to save our country.
Why do you think Trump is going to save our country?
Well, I think if nothing else, he'll stave off the destruction for a little while longer.
And how is he going to do that? Like, be a little bit more specific here.
Well, I just think, I think along with a whole lot of people that are polled for the past year, the country's going in the wrong direction, and we need to turn it around and take drastic action and go ahead and elect a felon to do it.
And what drastic action do you think Trump is going to take?
I hope that he puts on the brakes and maybe spends a little less. That'd be great. How about we get spending under control? That'd be awesome.
Even though his first time around, even though he has more borrowing over a 10-year period under his term than Joe Biden's term?
I would say that is yet to be seen. The term's not over yet.
I can show you.
Well, no, I see I watch the chart every day. So yeah, it's quite possible that we could end up with a bigger deficit under Biden.
No. 10-year borrowing. And thus far, by the way, it's also not close. If I can pull this up somehow.
Well, again, I think you can frame it however you want to, but again, deficit spending is, important.
So over 10 years,
Trump had C-19, obviously, and $2.2 trillion was for the CARES Act.
So did Biden.
Not the same. Wasn't the same. If you
but he had to get a COVID relief package, though.
Yeah, but if you subtract the $2.2 trillion, Biden's COVID relief that was direct COVID relief was far less.
Yeah, but even if you take out COVID relief, we have a study and a new analysis that was published in Axios. Oh, fuck, I just lost it. Hold on now. In non-COVID funds, non-COVID relief funds, Trump over a 10-year period again has $4.8 trillion in borrowing, whereas Biden in non-COVID relief funds has $2.2 trillion in borrowing. So if you're saying, hey, less spending, less borrowing, welcome to the Kamala Harris campaign. It's glad to have you over here. Come on over. We'll welcome you with open arms, I promise.
Yeah, I think the measurement is a little bit off there. I think the Fed policy has been quite different between Trump and the Biden administrations.
I don't know, man. They just
they
the
used to call
numbers
it
don't lie.
quantitative easing. Now they basically just print it and then give it to the Treasury in exchange for debt. Or they buy back from banks, or they buy back from countries. It's kind of totally different.
I don't know, man. It's a pretty great analysis from a Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget.
No, I understand, but as you know, the numbers are very, very manipulated because it's a totally different. It's apples and oranges the way the Fed policy was, as you know. No, the people watching have no idea, but I'm sure you know.
No, it's not though. It's like the Fed is still controlled by Jerome Powell, somebody who was appointed by Trump and served under Trump. It's like the Fed policy is not all that different.
You do realize that presidents are given 3 choices by the Federal Reserve Board itself. So Trump didn't get to pick who he wanted. He got to pick out of 3 that were given and nominated by the Fed itself, which is a private entity.
Who did he pick?
Well, he picked the best of the 3.
Do you think that the Federal Reserve should remain independent?
Please describe what you mean by independent.
Independent of the White House, like the president.
The White House should not be in control of the money supply. That's correct.
Okay, Donald Trump said that the president should have more control over the Federal Reserve, whereas Kamala Harris said she would keep the Fed completely independent.
Yeah, well, I'll take option C, which is the Treasury should just, give their power away to the Fed. I'd rather have the Treasury Department handle it.
But that's a fantastic addition to the conversation, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I'm telling you that Donald Trump is advocating for a really disastrous policy, I think you would agree with, whereas Kamala Harris is not. So you're saying, I want to ease the destruction of the country. America's doing fantastic right now, but if that's one of your views, then maybe you should be voting for the person who doesn't want to control the money supply.
Yeah, no, Trump never, ever has stated that he wanted to control the money supply.
Really?
Yeah, no. He
didn't say I want to control the money supply, but he's talked about less independence.
How about being able to pick the Fed chairman that you want? That'd be awesome. That'd be a great start. Or maybe just audit the Fed. How about we do that? Remember Ron Paul? Yeah.
No, I hate Ron Paul.
Maybe we just audit the Fed and find out what the heck they really have on their balance sheet instead of just trust me, bro. You always hate trust me, bros, but seemingly we just trust me, bro, with the Fed all the time.
We don't just trust.
We do. They don't. They're
Donald
audited.
Trump said, quote, I feel that the president should at least have a say in there when talking about the Federal Reserve. In my case, I made a lot of money. I was very successful. And I think I have a better instinct than, in many cases, people that would be on the Federal Reserve or the chairman. Trump thinks he has better instincts than people that would work at the Fed. Might I add, this is a guy who went bankrupt 6 times, paid out $25 million in fraud for Trump University, and was found liable for extensive business fraud, has to pay nearly $500 million in fraud fines. That guy believes he has better business instincts or better money.
How many total businesses has Trump been involved with that didn't go bankrupt? I'm curious.
Well, I'm sure he's made a lot of money via fraud. It's very easy to do.
It's crazy that you know exactly how many bankruptcies he had, but you don't know how many he had that didn't go bankrupt that were profitable. I wonder what that number is.
Can you name me some, like I'm talking about like off brands, like Trump Vodka, Trump Steak all went down, Trump University was fraud, Trump Organization was found guilty of all fraud charges against it, along Trump was found liable for all these fraud cases. Like the Trump, you can't really cite Trump as a successful business story when his organization is found as fraud, he's found as fraudulent, and a bunch of his products and businesses have gone bankrupt. I'm not sure that's a successful business.
Have you ever had a business and signed the front of a check instead of the back?
What?
Have you ever had your own business and made payroll? Have you ever paid people?
Is this at all comparable to what we're talking about right now? Extensive business fraud?
The reason I'm asking is because I was wondering if you knew what percentage of businesses in this country fail, like over a 10-year period.
Of course, there's a lot of businesses go bankrupt. Absolutely.
No, how many? Like, what's the percentage over a 10-year period?
I want to. Actually, I won't guess. I was going to say like 80%, but I won't guess.
It's over 90% fail.
That's what it is.
Before 10 years. Yeah.
But would you? We're not talking about these folks who most of these are small businesses, right? This guy who's had 6 bankruptcies and committed a bunch of business fraud wants to have influence over the Federal Reserve, the money supply of the United States.
Yes.
Don't you think that a guy who's committed a bunch of business fraud should not have control over the money supply in the United States?
Yeah, he kind of went to Wharton, number one. Number two, do you have any idea how difficult it is to build
one of his
a 90-story
Wharton
building in New York
professors,
City?
wait. One of his Wharton professors described him as, quote, the dumbest, and he emphasized dumbest student he'd ever had.
Oh, goodness.
This was way before his time in politics.
Are we going to compare Biden's record and or Kamala's record, failing the bar?
Kamala.
What? Who?
Kamala.
Karma Chameleon. Got it.
It's if you don't pronounce her name right, I won't talk to you anymore.
No, bro. Come on, man. This is satire.
I'm serious. Good. It's just basic respect. Kamala.
Look, I don't have any respect for somebody like that, especially.
Of course you. But you have respect for Donald Trump, right?
No, I mean I don't. I mean what I care about is policy. I don't. The people. Obviously, we can go back and forth on people. I mean, all day long. It's ridiculous.
So back and forth. What does that mean? Say Kamala. I'm sorry. I actually will not talk to you if you don't pronounce her name correctly. I'm being serious. I'll move on to somebody else.
Okay, Kamala.
Go ahead. Say Kamala.
Kamala.
Okay, good. Anyway, continue. What do you mean by we can go by people? What?
No, I'm just saying. Look, 100% of humans are imperfect. Some more imperfect than others. But Kamala certainly has tons of things we could go back and forth on. But it's kind of a silly exercise. Why would we do that?
I don't think that it's a silly exercise to analyze the people who are running to be president of the United States.
But I have no interest in talking about all the negativity.
Okay, but just wait. Before we move on, can I just clarify? Do you think that Donald Trump's suggestion that he knows more than the Federal Reserve and that he should have control over the money supply is good?
Oh, gosh, that's just such a crazy statement, bro. I mean, that's not...
It is a crazy statement.
He never said he wanted to have control. He said he should have more of a say. That's what he said.
The president should have a say. I don't think that the president should have a say.
First of all, do you have any idea what the plunge protection team is?
No, but I don't think that the president should have a say in the Federal Reserve.
The Fed.
I don't think that the president should have a say in the Federal Reserve. It's that easy. Do you agree or disagree?
They do, though. They do have some say.
Wait. Obviously, Trump's suggestion is that he should have more of a say.
Yeah, you know why? Because I'm guessing that they probably totally ignored him. I'm guessing they probably didn't listen to him at all.
That'd probably be a good thing. The guy again, a dude who committed a bunch of business fraud probably should not have a say over the Fed.
Do you suppose that they ignored Obama? Do you really think they did?
Yes.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did.
Remember 2008? No, actually, you probably don't remember 2008, but I was there. I remember what happened, and they certainly did not ignore Obama at all.
I
They
mean, do you have
tripled
any?
the money supply so that the world wouldn't collapse. Okay, tripled in a year and a half.
Well, I don't know if your triple number is correct.
No, it's
but I
100%
digress.
correct. It's 100%.
I don't know if it is correct. I don't know
No,
if your number is
listen,
correct.
I'm telling you it's correct. I'm
Okay,
a
whatever.
financial advisor for 20
And,
years. They
and guess
tripled
what?
money
The
supply.
economy didn't crash, and our recovery was great, and the auto industry was saved because of President Obama. Point is, the Fed did ignore Obama. They should ignore Obama. They should ignore Trump, and they should ignore Biden. They should ignore every president.
Is that
The
why
Fed
they
should
kept
be
interest rates
independent.
at zero
So
forever?
just to be clear, you're saying that you believe or agree with Donald Trump's statement that the president should have more influence than they do right now, as insinuated, but what we're talking about here.
I just think that Trump should have equal amount that Obama did. They had 0% interest rates for 10 years.
That would mean no more say. That would be literally the exact same amount. So you would then disagree with Donald Trump, who's saying he should have more of a say.
Yeah, he should.
Okay, great. I'm glad you disagree with Donald Trump. Then you shouldn't vote for that.
He should get to select the chairman that he wants. And
that's
we
not
should
what he's
also
talking
audit
about.
the Fed. Oh, by the way,
what?
He should get to pick the chairman he wants, and we should also have an independent audit of the Federal Reserve.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, except that he wasn't
Never been
talking about
audited,
picking
bro.
the chair of the Fed.
Since 1913, they've never been audited ever once. Think
Sure,
about that.
I mean, it's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I have no problem
That's
with that.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. To want to
You
audit the
realize
Fed, that's
that's
fine.
where the power is
but
in Washington, D.C.
But again, Donald Trump was not talking about having, being able to choose a Federal Reserve chair that he wants. Which also, by the way, actually, no.
He shouldn't get to pick who he wants.
No.
No.
Because if Donald Trump is, because that obviously that could lead to utter disaster.
Oh, utter disaster. Right. As if we're not on the path to
Fed
disaster
Chair
right now.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh God, that'll be good, huh?
Yeah, exactly. As if we're not on a path to disaster right now.
We're not. We have the strongest economy in the world. We're investing in America again, and manufacturing's booming in America again. We actually have hope with the Kamala Harris campaign. We're on a great path.
Just hear me out, and everybody listening needs to understand this. When you add up all of the GDPs of all the BRICS countries, guess what? It's almost about the same as us. When they get better and closer and work more together, it's going to be a problem at some point.
BRICS is weak.
Okay, together they're strong. Together they're like us.
Okay, put the United States together with all the NATO countries.
Okay, but that ain't how it's working. That ain't how it works.
Okay, well, all right. You can't put all these other countries together without an agreement that, by the way, is faulty, and then say, together they're very strong against us alone. It's like, okay, well, if you put the United States together with all of our partners in Europe and Asia and what the Middle East, even whatnot, Africa, then we're significantly stronger than BRICS is.
BRICS they're going to get together, and eventually they're going to have a common currency. And guess what? None of those NATO countries are going to have a common currency with us. Never. So it is going to be a problem at some point. They're going to have the economic
a lot of these NATO
power
countries
to be
still
able
use
to
the American
start
dollar
changing
for this
things and
stuff.
manipulating things.
A lot of these NATO countries still use the American dollar for this stuff, but I digress. I mean, at the end of the day, you support Donald Trump having more say over the Fed, and you support Donald Trump being able to choose a Fed chair, which is insane. Like the guy that he wants to support. I mean, that's crazy. That's insane, dude. That's insane.
Well, because
if you
think about it, it's completely and totally a different scenario when you look at the Obama years at 0% interest rates forever, where they tripled the money supply, and then it took 10 years for the stock market to triple and catch up. And then now look where we're at. It's just continued to explode. We're sitting on the biggest bubble ever in world history, ever, the stock market. It's crazy. When this pops, it's going to be a mess for everybody. Total mess.
It's not guaranteed that's, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think there's some less than desirable numbers.
You realize that Berkshire Hathaway sold half their Tesla, right? They sold half their Tesla stock. Berkshire Hathaway sold half their Tesla and like half their Apple.
Well, I mean, I can understand why they're selling Tesla. When your CEO is like an erratic lunatic, yeah, it's probably a good move. But I think that there is certainly a lot of faith in tech companies right now and their profits, like NVIDIA. Obviously, NVIDIA's like exploded in recent years, and a lot of the gains we're seeing is, driven by a lot of tech. I think that there could be a possibility of which that could collapse at some point, but I don't think that it's happening, and I don't think we're seeing that right now.
Yeah, well, I see, and unfortunately, I just think that if under a Harris administration, there would be not a whole lot of confidence. I feel like that it would not be a business-friendly environment in America any longer. It's already not great in a whole bunch of blue states.
Small business applications are at one of their fastest rates ever in American history under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So if it's not a business-friendly environment, then small businesses would not be putting in all these applications to have small businesses, and GDP growth wouldn't be great. Unemployment wouldn't be historically low and things like that.
Did you say historically low?
Yeah, it was lower under Biden, the general unemployment rate, than it was under Trump at its lowest point.
That's so false, man. Come on.
What? Oh, dude, it's just basic. Oh my God, here we go.
It's so false.
Okay, ready? Biden unemployment rate.
Listen, he had the lowest unemployment in like 45, 50 years.
And Biden did better.
Pre-C-19.
And Biden did better.
Pre-C-19, it was the lowest in 50 years.
Hope you're ready.
Biden's lowest unemployment rate was 3.4. Trump's was 3.5. You can look this stuff up, bud.
Nah, I really don't think so.
In February 3rd, 2023, via the U.S. Department of Commerce, unemployment is at its lowest level in 54 years.
I would like to also compare the number of people in the workforce versus those that dropped out of the workforce due to COVID. See, the numbers are not same, bro. It's apples and oranges. It was totally a different world.
There's more people in the workforce.
No, okay, so percentage of people that could work were working. Like, I'm telling you, the numbers are totally not fair.
No, dude, no, that's not true. That's not true.
Not a fair comparison. It's really not.
No, your analysis is incorrect. But anyway, unemployment rate.
No, workforce participation is what matters. Workforce participation.
That's not the only thing that matters. Anyway,
unemployment rate. Remember, when people drop out of the
unemployment's a pretty
workforce,
significant
they can't find a
indicator.
job.
Like when unemployment was 14% under Donald Trump, then that was a pretty significant indicator of what was going on around the world right now.
At that moment, it was real ugly.
So it's a good indicator, right?
Yeah.
When unemployment was 3.4% and GDP was flying under Joe Biden and jobs were coming back and we were creating hundreds of thousands of jobs per month, exceeding expectations from economists, pretty good.
And all of those people who are on unemployment for so long, guess what? They drop off of the calculation because they're no longer a part of the workforce because they're no longer looking for work.
The calculation of unemployment?
Yes.
No. Oh my God. No, they do not.
When you're not part of the
unemployment
workforce
is
anymore, you're not included in the number. You're not included in the number anymore.
Wait. If you're not seeking work.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Wait. We agree. So what's your point?
Quiet quitting, right? You remember that after
That's
COVID?
not what quiet quitting is.
Okay, I know, but I'm saying all of that psychology that was totally jacked in the whole country, a whole lot of people just were not seeking work for a long period of time. And then guess what? They no longer got included in the numbers for unemployment.
Wait.
You know this.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
In
2023, you're trying to tell me that all of these people were not seeking employment?
No. I'm saying, what is your number from 2023?
Yeah.
Okay, so now can you let's look at workforce participation right before.
What's the numbers on workforce participation?
That's what I want to see. I don't know the exact number, but I'm just saying I'd like to correlate those numbers because workforce participation matters. The number of people that are able to work that are working.
And you're saying, and wait, what's the claim surrounding workforce participation connecting to Trump versus Biden?
I'm saying that that workforce participation was through the roof. That's why you had, black unemployment at record lows. That's why you had Hispanic unemployment at record lows, female unemployment at record lows. Under Trump pre-COVID. And then after,
but wait, black unemployment was also lower under Biden.
I know, but all those numbers got totally skewed because there were so many people that were totally taken out of the calculation altogether.
Wait, it's actually not. I'm looking at the data right now, right? So under Biden, in January of 2021, when COVID was still a thing, workforce participation was 61.3%. And this is via BLS.gov, so Bureau of Labor Statistics. Before the pandemic, in December of 2019, so basically before COVID hit, it was 63.3. So Biden took office, it was 61.3 versus 63.3, 2% lower even after COVID hit and in the midst of COVID. And then it's back up to 62.6 right now. So
million,
0.7% less than just before the COVID pandemic hit. So there's not this max exodus of people from the workforce. It's 62.6%.
You're giving me a percentage. You're not giving me the number. How many millions of people is it?
But the number, it accounts for all of the people, right?
How many people? How many people?
Why do you don't need the people number if you have the data number, if you have the percentage. You're saying that there was no workforce participation. Everybody just stopped wanting to be part of the workforce, which is not true. And remember, 62.6% is a percentage of the people.
I'm telling you, the pie is smaller. So that's why the percentage is the same.
The data, no,
Yes.
it's not true. No, it's not. That's oh my god, it's just objectively false.
No, listen, man. I've been watching these numbers 20 years, man. I know, I get it.
Well, go watch them some more, though. I don't know what to tell you, dude. And if you watch these numbers, goddamn, you shouldn't be advocating for somebody who want more control over the Fed.
319 likes right here. I got 319, man.
And it's
look at all the W's in the chat for Clint.
No, it's
W's
coins,
in the chat
dude.
for Clint.
That's not. That's not W's, that's coins. That's not W's, that's coins, dude.
No, I got W's in the chat, man. Let him cook.
There's certainly Republicans who watch the live, for sure. There's certainly Republicans who watch the live. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Look, and we're talking about, yes, I'm trying to cook you on this one point. That's totally not the thing, dude. It's really not the reason. This is not the reason why all these people in the chat.
But you're wrong on this point.
No,
you're not cooking on the point. You're wrong on the point.
We can agree to disagree. Like I said, I've been looking at the numbers for 20 years. I
encourage you to look a little harder then. I don't know what to tell you on that.
Okay. Anyway, the bottom line is the economy right now, not great. It's not great. When we talk about inflation, I hear you talk about inflation with people all the time, and here's the problem. The problem is that if inflation was high for some years, even if the rate of increase has decreased,
yes, we know.
Prices still haven't come down.
Yes, we know.
The squeeze is on. People.
Well, actually, that's not true. So, in April of 2024, I think grocery prices actually decreased. So there have been some instances in which prices have come down, but we both false.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Groceries are cheaper? Are you serious?
No. Prices decreased for groceries in 1 month. I think it's April.
Like April versus April the year before, or what? April versus what?
No, month over month. No, excuse me, I'm wrong. No, year over year. In April, via marketplace.org, in April, grocery store prices were flat or even lower. Compared to April,
prices were flat.
Yeah, so I would recommend you look up the article. I was right, it was April. And CNN, May 15th, 2024.
Listen.
Oh, wait.
Listen, you know who I trust? I trust the single moms who go to the grocery store every week. That's who I trust. I don't trust those numbers at all, bro. I trust the people.
You can't say you've been looking at the numbers for 20 years and then say, I don't trust the numbers.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, people are not going to vote to continue what's going on. They're going to vote for a change agent, and his name is Donald J. Trump.
The felon. Of course you guys want the sexual abuser. Except, what is Donald Trump going to do to solve any of this? He has no policy.
Change so much that they're willing to vote for a felon.
And what's the change?
Different than what's going on.
Tell me, how is Donald Trump going to decrease grocery prices?
What I don't know.
You don't know because it doesn't exist.
What they know for sure is that if it continues going the same path that it's on right now, it's going to get worse. They just want.
Wait. How is Donald Trump going to change the path?
Listen, it's not. They're not making a logical decision. They're just saying, look, we can't continue what we're doing. We got to do something different. And
you just said, oh my God, you're giving away the whole ball game. You just said they're not making a logical decision. I agree that anybody that's voting for Trump is not making a logical decision.
Logic is not going to win this election, my man. It's not.
Logic is strong with people who vote for Kamala Harris and not. You know what? I agree. People who vote for Kamala Harris are logical, and people who vote for Donald Trump are not.
They want change. They want something different. They want the trajectory to change.
And well, clearly the trajectory has changed from Trump to Biden. I mean, when Trump left office, unemployment was high. People were dying. Thousands of people were dying every single day to COVID. Only 2 million people were vaccinated. There was no vaccine distribution plan or anything of that like. Nobody was in school. I was in high school at the time. I still didn't have in-person school. When Biden took office, around 5% of schools were open. By the next year later, 95% of schools were open and back to fully operating. So you're right. The trajectory from Trump to Biden has certainly changed, and we're back for the better. We have the best recovery among G7 countries. We have the strongest economy in the world, and as we mentioned, historically low unemployment numbers. No matter how much You want to ignore it and pretend that labor
Biden was so
participation
great.
isn't high
Why
when
was
it
his
is.
approval rating so low? He had an all-time low approval rating, and the only one that was
Because
worse
you know
was
why?
Kamala.
You know why?
Kamala
For
was
what
even
you just,
worse.
you know why? For what you just acknowledged, that people are illogical. People like Trump
But that's
supporters
Democrats
will
too.
blame. Look! You're doing it right
Democrats
now.
are part of that.
You're doing. I bet this guy above you is going to do the same thing in just a minute. When Republicans will blame Joe Biden for inflation and gas prices, these high grocery prices, they'll blame Joe Biden and say somehow it's his fault. Obviously, it's not his fault,
listen,
but they'll
she
blame
has
him anyway,
no
leading
leadership
to a
ability.
lower than average unemployment rate. And we have to factor in the political climate right now. There's more
Harry.
division and more partisan divide than ever before,
Harry.
or at least modern American history.
Goodness, Harry, she lost 92% of her staff. They quit. They quit, and then they talked the shit about her when they left.
Wait. People change staff in politics all the time. That's why Donald Trump had like 9 different press secretaries. And by the way, I mean, look at the turnaround after January 6th. Look how many people who were working for Trump quit
92%?
after that. What a terrible thing.
92% of Kamala's staff.
Based on where are you
left.
getting this from?
And then,
Where are you getting this from?
dude, it's an article in a left-leaning newspaper. Read it.
Let's see.
It's clear 92% of her staffers left, and then talk shit about her afterwards.
Logic,
that
baby.
she was
Whoa.
unprepared, unprofessional, that she was angry, that she would call people names, that she was an awful person to these people. Awful.
The Federalist?
She was awful, dude.
No. The Federalist is who you're citing.
Look, when the staffers come forward and are interviewed and say, look, this is all the terrible things that she did, this is how she treated people, that matters. That matters.
Hold on now.
She has no leadership ability whatsoever. She's done 77 seconds of taking questions.
Wait.
20 days.
Wait. Yeah, these people who have left Kamala Harris's office went to work on her campaign and the Biden campaign. Golly.
Yeah.
As many. Oh my God. So hold on now. So they're not abandoned. I just read your article. They're not abandoned. They're not leaving Kamala. This happens all the time in politics. You're seeing it right now with the Biden campaign. By the way, what's her name? Anita Dunn, a longtime Biden advisor, just left the Biden White House. Is it because she doesn't like Biden? No, it's because she's going to work on one of his biggest super PACs and a super PAC that's helping Kamala Harris get elected. So typically, at the end of a presidential term, or when someone's not seeking re-election, the people at the White House, some of the senior advisors will go work on PACs, or they'll go work on another re-election campaign, which is happening right now. So a lot of these people left in 2024 or 2023 to work on the Biden campaign, now the Harris campaign. So they didn't leave because they didn't like Kamala Harris. They left because they're going to work on a presidential campaign to help her get elected.
You're not reading the article, my man. It's false. Are you kidding? Come on, Harry, you're better than this, my man.
Dude, what are you talking? Oh my God.
You're better than this.
Read your own article.
Dude, there's multiple articles. Look it up.
Read your own article.
Just type in Google, 92% of Harris's staff has left.
Yeah, read the article.
I think the audience should read the article.
There's multiple articles.
I encourage the audience to read the article.
She's gotten torched by these people in these articles. Torched.
Wait, just by the way, just be clear here. The first couple articles that come up and talk about this are Quora, which is not an article website. It's not a news publication. The Federalist.
She wouldn't even
and
read
Fox News.
She wouldn't even read the stuff that they prepared for her. She's terrible.
Wait. First of all, that's not true. That's not what the article said. Second of all, I just explained to you where these people went. And third of all, if you think that not reading your daily briefing is bad, which I would agree, it doesn't apply to Kamala Harris. She does read her briefings.
It does.
But if you would agree that not reading your daily briefing is bad, then you should not be voting for Donald Trump, who has extensive reporting on the fact that he didn't read his daily briefings, and people would often have to put in pictures and graphs so that he would actually read the reports because he didn't enjoy the words and the letters.
She would.
Dude, come on, bro.
They prepared stuff. They prepared a lot of stuff for her. She wouldn't.
Dude, if this guy doesn't stop yapping up there,
then they would get mad. She would get mad at him and yell at people and call people names and all kinds of stuff they were.
Hold on.
In these articles.
First of all, that's not true. Second of all, yeah, I just did. Second of all, please spare me again the calling people names. I mean, have you heard the names that Donald Trump has called other people?
Her own staff?
Yeah, have you heard the assault claims that people have made about Donald Trump?
People
that used to work for him, he assaulted them.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about bad workplace, first of all, your argument doesn't even apply to Kamala Harris. But second of all, if you really want to go there, man, let's talk about the countless assault allegations that Donald Trump has against him from women employees.
92%, man. 1,000 coins.
And a lot of these people went to go work on her campaign, or they got promotions.
Thanks in the chat for all the support. 1,000 coins, man. I think this is my highest number ever. Amazing.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I bet I'll get a few followers off this one.
Probably.
I mean, Harry, listen, man. I know there isn't anything anybody can say to you to talk any sense into you.
Oh, Clint,
she's awful, man. She's so awful, and I really hope for the party that somebody else steps up at the convention, because if not, it's over.
I'm sorry.
It's
You do not have the liberty to call anybody else awful when you are voting for the felon sexual abuser business fraudster who's indicted in multiple different jurisdictions, who bullies people, makes fun of disabled people, mocks people, stutters. I mean, please spare me she's terrible.
Yeah,
by the way, shout out to Honnold in the chat who read the articles telling me I'm right, which is the correct truth.
Sure,
I am right. But
anybody
please spare me the moral high horse.
That saw 92%. Anybody?
You just had somebody in the chat talking about it. But spare me. Just spare me the moral high ground here.
No. I have no. Trust me, I have no moral high ground at all when it comes to Trump. None. But
well, then you should be saying that he sucks.
Sometimes it takes bad people to do amazing things. It's all through history. Just look at the Bible. My goodness, tons of bad people did good things.
Can you give me an example of like modern history where bad people were the right people for the job?
Yeah, I mean, my goodness. I mean, think about, you said modern history. Well, I got to go back a little ways. I mean, we kind of won WW2 with a dude that was named George S. Patton. Not the guy that you want to hang out with. Certainly not the guy you want to hang around, pal around, have a beer with. This is a hardcore MF, dude. This guy was an awful human being, but he was the guy that was necessary to get an unbelievable task done. And without him, we might not win. Okay, so sometimes it takes a Winston Churchill, who nobody liked. This guy was
a lot of people like Winston Churchill.
Teddy Roosevelt, terrible.
A lot of people like Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, but he was a hardcore dude.
We're not talking about hardcore. You can be a hardcore. You can be a hardcore person and do the right thing and be a good person. I'm asking for people who are objectively bad, like bad people, which society would agree that they are bad.
Look,
when have these bad people done?
I'm sure we can both agree JFK was a great president, right?
I'd say he's a good president.
I'd say he was a very, very good president. I would say he'd be a conservative today, by the way. I'd say Bill Clinton, 1995, Bill Clinton would be a conservative today. Both great presidents, but guess what? The left and the Democrats have moved so far to the left that those guys would be Republicans today.
You guys have moved the left has not moved far left. The left has always been about wanting to help people out who are less fortunate and protecting real freedom and things of that nature. The right are the people who are denying elections. You are denying elections. You are so far gone. You are doing things that you see from dictators in third world countries, and you just pretend that we, the left, are too extreme.
Did you really bring up denying elections?
We just talked about how you want Trump to have more control over the Federal Reserve. Talk to me about far right.
They just took 6,000 illegals off the voter rolls in Virginia last week. 6,000.
What are you? Let's find the source.
Look it up.
Yeah, let's do it. What's the source on that?
Youngkin, Virginia voter roll scrub. Put something like that in Google, and you'll see
off voter.
Yes,
rolls.
And there were people that were illegals, and then there were people that were either out of the state or dead, and that number was like 50,000. They scrubbed all the voter rolls in all of Virginia, and guess what? It's going to be a model for states that matter, like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada. All those states are going to get all those voter rolls scrubbed. So there's going to be thousands and thousands of people that shouldn't be on the voter rolls that are going to get removed before November.
Wait.
Difference for us.
Just to be clear here, your source is the Daily Wire.
Okay, no, there's plenty of other places that had that article.
No, the source is the Daily
Wire. This is a real thing that actually happened. Oh, by the way, Jesse Waters reported it.
Oh my God! Okay, it's like saying, okay, well, one liar claimed it's true, and another liar reported it to be true, so it must be true. I'm reading the Daily Wire.
Made a statement about it.
I'm reading a Daily Wire. I'm reading a Daily. Who?
Youngkin's the governor.
No, he signed an executive order and talked about the executive order. He didn't talk about this number.
Okay. So what was the result?
I'm reading the article right now, and it just says Virginia. This is, by the way, from the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's publication, which is utter nonsense. And it says, on Wednesday, Youngkin signed an executive order instructing the Department of Elections to remove non-citizens who may have purposely or accidentally registered to vote pursuant to the order. The state also deceased voters, yada, yada, yada. But there's literally no source. I'm looking at it. No hyperlink that takes us to anywhere where this 6,000 number can be backed up. Look, no hyperlink.
But
no hyperlink.
Where's the number? They reported a number of illegal.
Yeah, they say 6,300 non-citizens.
Whoa, 6,300.
Yeah. But there's no evidence that this is actually the case.
Oh, so they just made the number up.
Genuinely,
it's
yes.
Totally
there's
fake.
no sourcing. There's no sourcing on the article.
So it's going to be fake also in Pennsylvania, right? Like
there's
when
no sourcing. Wait.
Where's 15,000 in Pennsylvania? It'll be fake too, right?
There's no sources on the article.
Okay. How many people were dead or no longer lived in the state? Wasn't it like 50,000?
It says in 2023 they removed 79,867 deceased voters according to the executive order.
What?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that? You know what's so wild about that is if those people were deceased and they had a policy in which that every voter on the voter roll got a ballot, isn't it possible that someone else could have intercepted that ballot and maybe turned it in after they filled it out?
If they would have done that, that's voter fraud. They would have.
I know, but is there any percentage chance that happened ever?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
so.
I mean, people have tried and they fail. By the way, deceased people being removed off the voter rolls happens all of the time, and so you're like shocked at these numbers. Yeah, there are like people who die, and then they're like the moment they die, they're not automatically taken off of the voter rolls. That happens after some time. But this happens all the time. Deceased people being taken off the voter rolls literally happens every single year. And like in more populated states like California, the number might be in the hundreds of thousands because hundreds of thousands of people died in California in that year.
So listen, I have a crystal ball. It's sitting right in front of me right now. I'm looking into it. It's going to be Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Nevada, and Arizona
states
are all going to. Yeah, notice I didn't say North Carolina because that's no longer a swing state. But and also Nevada's probably not either because no tax on tips, baby. But
that's what Kamala Harris just said last night. No tax on tips.
She loves to agree with Trump. It's amazing.
No, her policy is actually more detailed.
It's so crazy that she's walked away from virtually everything that she said in the past 10 years, but yet she agrees with Trump on no tax on tips. Is she going to also say no tax on Social Security next, just like Trump?
She has not walked away from everything she believes. I mean, she's still very much pro-choice, for example. She's not.
Hold on. I thought she wanted Medicare for all.
People evolve in their views. Like
so
Donald Trump has evolved in. Donald Trump has evolved on a number of his views. I don't say, he once believed this, he now believes this. It's automatically bad.
Do you want Medicare for all?
No, I'm not personally a proponent of Medicare for all.
What are you a proponent of?
Expanding the Affordable Care Act.
Okay, so does that mean do you want single payer or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of like Medicare for all.
Public and private.
So it's kind of like Medicare for all. You said single payer.
No. I mean, well, okay. A public system in the sense that, like, the Affordable Care Act would be the public. That's what I'm talking about. And then the private system of, like, you can buy healthcare from a company if you'd like to.
She actually said she wanted to get rid of private insurance companies.
No, she didn't.
She absolutely said that.
Actually, I won't actually speak on that because I don't know what the interview you're talking about is, so I don't know the quote.
Yeah,
but what I do know is that now her campaign has come out and said that she is not for Medicare for all.
And also, she's not for abolishing and eliminating and destroying private health insurance companies, too. So there's two.
She's not for those things.
So she's not for those things. She's now not for those things.
Yeah.
We won't get any opportunity to, like, have her answer any questions about it because she won't take questions from a live audience or even a sit-down interview.
She responded to reporters' questions the other day when getting on the plane. She responded to reporters' questions before she had. No, it was over 2 minutes. And by the way, she's getting on a plane. She's not like having a press conference. She's getting on a goddamn plane. So it was nice of her to even go over there and talk to reporters. She talked to reporters before her rally the other day, and also having a press conference, which are great. That's fine. You listen to her on the campaign trail. Her answering questions from reporters reporters doesn't really mean much, especially when Donald Trump doesn't. He has a press conference. Trump had a press conference at Mar-a-Lago the other day, but he didn't actually answer questions.
She's reading the same speech over and over and over again, and then she has no policies listed on her website even. I mean, like, what is she even running on? She's running on Trump is bad. Trump is bad.
No, actually, no. No. She has talked extensively about what she believes. Expanding the Affordable Care Act. We just talked about that. Protecting women's reproductive rights and continuing the investments in fighting climate change, things of that nature, and continuing the work the Biden administration did. Investing in manufacturing and lowering healthcare costs like insulin, getting that expanded to all Americans, not just seniors, things of that nature. She has talked about this. You just don't listen to her enough.
No, I listen to her all the time. There's nothing.
I don't think you do.
I hear the same rhetoric and the same talking points, but like no detail and no questions. No answers.
What do you, please, I mean, spare me the no detail from Kamala Harris. She talks extensively about these things. Have you heard Donald Trump answer questions? Please, when was the last time? Please. Donald Trump was asked a question the other day on how he's going to do his mass deportation plan, and he wouldn't answer. He's like, "You'll find out soon." What?
Yeah.
What? Where was the detail from Donald Trump? But there's no objection there, no?
He did, what did he do, 70-some minutes of live questions from hostile reporters?
He did not answer, first of all, they invited the reporters there. This was not just open to the press and anybody could ask questions. They specifically invited reporters. One of them asked, like, some of these reporters were terrible. They asked ridiculous questions. But he didn't answer questions. He stood up there for 70 minutes and dodged every single question.
He made no gaffes, zero gaffes, and zero. You didn't see any video run 50,000 times on the left media stations, did you?
Did you hear his story about Willie Brown and the helicopter?
Yeah,
that was not a gaffe.
Well,
the thing that never happened.
It's up for question. I mean, it's a he said, right?
It never happened. There's no record of it. There's no record of it.
Well, I mean, evidently, he seems to recollect hearing some real negative things from him about...
Oh, I'm sure Donald Trump, the guy that lied over 30,000 times, should be trusted about something that literally never happened. And by the way, the guy that he's saying, Willie Brown, that never happened. He's saying, I have no idea what he's talking about.
I mean, it seems like a pretty memorable thing, like if you were on a helicopter or somebody and they were talking about...
That's why it's so crazy. That's why it's so crazy that he made it up.
Kind of a wild thing. Like, why would you bring that up? Like, that's a weird one.
Because he's goddamn delusional.
Well, I mean, if he's that wild and crazy, like, if it totally didn't happen and he just, like, made it up out of thin air, I mean, I guess that would be kind of like a bunch of other people that have made up stuff over the past 10 years. But
Trump is, like, the main perpetrator of all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think... I really am interested to see when she's going to actually talk about policies, or maybe just list one. I mean, Trump's got 20 different points on his website, main policy points, but she has zero. And I'm wondering, when is that going to happen?
She has just recently become the Democratic nominee.
20 days. She's had 20 days.
Yeah, and writing a policy platform takes some time.
I mean, she's been in office for a long time.
She just said next week that the policy proposals will be rolled out. But we know what she believes already. We don't have to take a guess. Any of these what policy are you confused about?
What policy am I confused about? Well, I just told you, I'm confused about the fact that she wanted Medicare for all. Now she's cool with it.
But again, if you would have read a little bit more on this, you would have seen that her campaign recently said that she's not for that. She's not for Medicare for all.
But there was no detail about what happened in the evolution. Like, did she wake up one morning and it was like, oh my gosh, no, I actually don't want single payer. Now I really like health insurance companies. I think that they do a great job.
I don't know. I don't think that she has a journal writing each day on how she evolved on an issue. The campaign is telling you what she stands for. You're asking for her policy. The campaign is telling you what she stands for. You can't have all these requests satisfied that, well, how did you come to this conclusion? Like, how did you change from this to this? She's telling you what she's going to do. That's what candidates do. They're not here to answer how they got from one topic to another and how they believe one thing to another.
Barry, did you see the group photo of the people in the quote unquote campaign, the speechwriters? It's a bunch of kids like you, like your age. You're a brilliantly smart kid, but you're a kid.
They're not
just like they are.
They're not speechwriters, I don't think. I think you might have seen people who are
that's the campaign. I want her to explain what changed for her. Why did she evolve in these positions? Because it's a radical change. That's a radical change.
Maybe she will. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she will. I do not personally feel that same desire. I don't really care. I don't care how she changed from Medicare to all to supporting the Affordable Care Act. It's like I just care what she's going to do, what she's proposing, and what we know what she's proposing on all these topics. Again, it's not like she's said this so many times, like on immigration, on abortion, on healthcare, all these things. She's talked about it extensively.
So what is it that she believes about immigration? I'd like to know. I mean, what does she think? How many is okay? Like how many per year is cool?
She's never given a specific number, just like nobody in politics has given a specific number. Donald Trump hasn't even given a specific number.
Yeah, about 0 illegals would be a good number.
I mean, I think that like it maybe that sounds intuitively good to you. I disagree, but that would also hurt the United States economy.
Right?
It would hurt the United States economy if that were the case, just for the record. But she hasn't given a specific number, just like Donald Trump hasn't given a specific number. But we do know what she believes on immigration, which is agreeing with President Biden's bipartisan immigration bill that was written by Democrats and Republicans.
You know, and I know that she was not the border czar at all. I mean, clearly not. Yeah, no one ever said that she was, obviously, but she had something to do with the border. I mean, I guess she was maybe just reporting back to Biden, or I don't know who she was reporting back, maybe Obama. I don't know who she was reporting back to, but I want to know, like, what did she actually do to improve the situation at the border during her time as the not border czar?
So her job was studying the root causes of migration from triangle countries. And one of the main things that Kamala Harris did that I think is fantastic is she got over 50 companies to invest over $5 billion into the economies of these triangle countries, improving their economic conditions. The idea there is that if we can improve the economies of these countries, people will be less incentivized to flee to the United States. And getting $5 billion to do that is a pretty good achievement. Wouldn't you agree?
$5 billion is not very much, my man. This is a way bigger problem than $5 billion.
$5 billion being invested into economies that are not that developed is a pretty big deal.
How many of those dollars have been spent and not just committed?
I don't know. There's no tracker. I don't know.
Exactly. It's all smoke and mirrors, my man. There is no money that's gone to those countries at all.
There obviously has been money.
No, they were talking about they're going to like build
a
factory or they're going to do nobody. They haven't done anything, man. This is all just
they have.
rhetoric.
Also, by the way, the federal government gives money to these countries as well. Donald Trump tried to cut that program, which is stupid.
What?
Like, hold on. Y'all, you guys are so mad. So the United States government has given money. By the way, this money from these companies.
Money and give it to other countries.
This money from the companies has gone to these countries. Number one. Number two.
No, prove it.
I will. Give me a second. Senator Chris Murphy, who works on this stuff, he was talking about this on Twitter the other day. He's great, by the way. Chris Murphy's awesome.
Yeah, I'm talking about it too.
What was I just trying to say?
You were saying, you know, that the
federal government has this program where we send money to triangle countries to build up their economies. Donald Trump tried to defund that program.
Yes.
So here's
how
the
much
thing.
money should we print to give to these countries?
We don't. It's part of our budget every single year. So we're not just having like a printing machine to fund our budget every single year. You know, buddy, you know that. You know that we don't just print a bunch of money every single year to fund our budget. No, that's not true.
We do.
Oh my God, that's not true.
We do.
That's not true. But anyway, aside from that, hold on.
Buys treasuries, and that's money that springs into existence.
Hold on.
That's called deficit spending.
We're not, but the idea that we're printing the exact amount of money that we have a budget every single year is not true.
No,
Second of all,
just the deficit part.
hold on now. The federal government has this program where we send money to these triangle countries to build up their economies, to de-incentivize people leaving these countries to come to the United States. Now that program is effective. If we can build up their economies, people won't feel as inclined to come to the United States. Also, there's obviously a correlation between economic prosperity and economic stability and crime. So crime comes down as the economy gets better in a given country. We know this. Great. If we can do that and build up the economies, then we wouldn't have as bad as a migration problem. But then Republicans like Donald Trump try to cut funds to that program, and then they're like, oh my God, why are people coming to the border? Jeez Louise.
How about we just not print money and give it to other countries, whether they be in the Golden Triangle or wherever the hell else they are all over the world? How about we just try and get our budget under control? How about we don't print money and have deficit spending every year? That'd be great.
Well, all right. Well, then let's start with not going after people's social programs. If you want to reduce the amount of money, let's start with not going after people's social programs and maybe cut the inflated military budget.
There you go. How much should we cut it?
I don't know. We have to budget all out. It all depends on the budget.
I mean, we got is $1 trillion too much? We got $1 trillion. So should we make it like 500 billion?
We don't spend $1 trillion in our military.
It's 900 billion and it's growing. It's gonna be more.
I mean, 900 billion is a big difference in $1 trillion, just for the record. Let's see, what
okay.
is the military budget?
It's probably going to hit $1 trillion. I mean, and
something
oh,
like
by
that.
the way, just a couple of days ago, just so the audience is clear, just a couple of days ago, the interest on
$841 billion.
No, it's more. Look at.
I'm looking at it right now.
U.S. debt clock right now. It's over 900 right now. USDebtClock.org.
No, I'm looking at it right now from the armedservice.senate.gov. Summary of the fiscal year 2024 National Defense Authorization Act. $841 billion for the Department of Defense.
Okay, guess what? It's more than that. Look at USDebtClock.org,
right
and the real number is bigger. Trust me.
I'm looking at the federal government sources. I don't care what the U.S. debt clock says. Where am I looking at here?
USDebtClock.org.
Yeah, no, I know, but what part?
A historic thing just happened a couple of days ago. The interest on the debt surpassed spending on the military for the first time in history. So now it's Medicare, it's Social Security, interest on the debt, and then military spending is number 4.
So you want to cut military spending?
Yes. Can we agree?
I would be interested in cutting the military budget.
Okay,
sure.
so you've watched Star Wars. You know about the Imperial Empire, right? You know all about Darth Vader and the Emperor and all that kind of stuff. Guess what?
You know about Darth Vader and the Emperor. I don't really know what the Imperial Empire is in Star Wars.
If you live outside of the United States and you see military bases full of all kinds of military equipment and U.S. soldiers, it kind of looks like that. It kind of looks like we've got an empire all over the world that we're having to fuel and spend billions and billions of dollars to maintain. Kind of sounds like Rome back in the day. It's kind of interesting. So you and I should be able to agree that we need to reel it back in a little bit. We need to.
I disagree.
You think we shouldn't? Well, we got to stop spending
somehow.
I
I think that there could be cuts to the military budget, but I think that. I think that having these bases around the world, especially in allied countries, is good for military readiness. Because theoretically, for example, we're allies. Well, we're allies with Turkey, right?
I know, but why do we have people in Germany right now? Why? Why Japan? Why South Korea?
Let's just say war broke out. Let's just say that Germany gets struck by Russia. Obviously, we're NATO countries. Article 5 would be invoked. It would take a lot longer. If we wanted to mount a response, it would take a lot longer for us to get these people over the Atlantic Ocean in whatever whatever we're sending them in aircraft carriers or planes, whatever it be, to Germany to then fight, than it would be to have people on the ground with established bases who are living in this area who could then go fight.
Harry, you can't believe that it's about boots on the ground. I mean, we can strike anybody in the world from here. We don't need to be there. We don't need to be in Germany. We can hit anybody within minutes. We can hit anywhere in the world.
But as you know, a military response is not just about hitting people with missiles.
Look, we have 11 carrier strike groups that patrol the planet, that have way more weaponry to end the planet than we could ever imagine. Okay, so much so that we don't even need those silos out in the middle of nowhere anymore. Okay, they can be decommissioned. We've got it under control. We don't need to keep spending. You know why we're spending all this money? It's the military-industrial complex, and both of us should be able to agree that we need to stop it. We got to stop this nonsense. This is going to destroy our country.
I don't mind some cuts to the military, but I am not in favor of removing our bases in Germany and things like that. It is crucial to military readiness, and if Germany gets struck, for example, I want to be able to defend our allies immediately, not say, well, you know what, Germany will be over there in 9 hours. No.
Look, you suppose Germany's going to show up if we get attacked?
Yes.
No, they're not.
Yes, they will. Well, I mean, what do you mean by show up? Like physically or
physically? No, physically.
Oh, well, I don't know. It depends on where we get attacked.
We get invaded. California gets invaded. Okay, they're not coming. Nobody's coming.
Hold on now.
Nobody's coming to help us. Okay, but we're expected to help everybody all over the world and be the policemen of the world. For what?
Yeah, man.
For what?
Hold on. In the United States, let's see.
I'm just curious. Like, why?
German soldiers have been German soldiers are stationed in the United States. So yes, Germany would literally physically be there to help us.
I guess we do some training of those guys, right, and send them back. I mean, they're not here for to fight with us. They're not. That's a training thing.
They would be. I mean, yeah, well, it's a training thing, but they would also be there to fight.
Okay, man, come on. That's not even comparable. We have a gigantic base over there with I don't know how many tens of thousands of people, but we got a bunch of people in Germany and in Japan and in South Korea, and we have a giant base out in the middle of the outback in Australia. For what? Why?
The Asian Sea.
Okay, but why?
North Korea's right there. China's right
we've
there.
Got, what happened in the Middle East when stuff gets crazy? What do? We start moving our carrier strike groups over there. It's like a freaking gigantic bunch of ships all together.
Yes.
We got 11 of them.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. But as we just acknowledged, having carrier strike groups and the ability to shoot missiles at different countries from the United States is not the entirety of a military response, or we'd hope that it wouldn't be the entirety of a military response if somebody like Russia or North Korea or China decided to strike us or our allies.
Listen, Harry, boots on the ground did not work very well in Iraq.
Let me ask you this.
It didn't work very well in Afghanistan, and it ain't going to work very well anywhere else either.
Worked pretty well in World War II.
Okay, that's in the 40s. We're not there anymore. We didn't have the capabilities
World War II was not that long ago.
No, we have like crazy ability to do lots of other things that we didn't have then. We got drones
Think about
now.
it this way. Think about it this way. Let's just say China either strikes us or strikes an ally. Don't you think it's better to have American troops in Japan ready to go to be able to go after China than having to let's put them on an aircraft carrier and send them across the Pacific? Because if China, let's just say China attacked California with a missile.
Have their feet on the soil.
If China, what?
Our soldiers should never touch Chinese soil ever. That's silly. We're not going to invade. What? We're going to win? You know how many people?
Wait, hold on now. Of course. Wait. What do you think?
How many people do you? How many are in their standing army?
What do you think war is? What do you think war is?
How many are in their standing army? They got like 1 million soldiers, bro.
Well, I don't know what you think war is. Do you think war is just fought by missile?
Do you think that our response should be we're going to go send the Marines and land on the beach in China with 1 million soldiers on their side?
I think depending on the circumstances, it's good to have troops nearby.
Dude, that's insane, man.
Wait, I'm sorry. If China is attacking California and they are having troops on the ground in California, like trying to invade, you think that the United States should just be like, well, we can't do that back now. You can't do that. No,
they're not going to do that. First of all,
I know. Obviously, we're speaking in hypothetical right now.
Yeah, but no, the response, if that were to happen, the response is not, hey, let's go send 10,000 Marines to Singapore or to Shanghai.
If China is invading continental U.S., I don't think that the United States should have absolutely off limits, no invasion of continental China.
No, it would be missiles. It would be Hellfire missiles, like all over the dang country. Like we wouldn't need to go. We're not trying to go take over. We're not trying to take over the country. We're just trying to defend ourselves.
Wait, what do you think happened with Japan in World War II between the United States?
World War II. This is not World War II.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's our last largest war to reference.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore, man. It's not.
So then, I'm sorry. What do you think the evolution is? With Japan, we had aircraft carriers in the Pacific. It was mainly an island-to-island battle, and we had troops surrounding Japan, which made Japan eventually surrender. I mean, because of nuclear bombs. But if this guy doesn't stop talking, I mean, he's not even adding anything helpful right now. He's just yapping.
I'm trying to be respectful between you two, but that's fine.
Okay. Well, continue to be quiet then. Do yourself a favor.
Okay, Harry. Sorry.
Okay, so one of the reasons that Japan surrendered was, of course, the nuclear bombs.
Yeah, there were
also
two big
because
bombs.
The fact that the United States was jumping from island to island in the Pacific, in the South Asian Sea, and surrounding Japan. So having troops there is helpful. And let's just say China.
They never would have surrendered without the 2 giant bombs, bro. Ever. They would have gone all the way.
I typically agree. Yes, I'm not, but that's not the argument I'm making.
No, I know. I'm saying that ultimately the boots on the ground was not what made it happen. That's not what made it happen.
What about
Germany? It
happen
in China either.
What about Germany?
Oh yeah. Well, that was a little different. We didn't drop a bomb there.
Did boots on the ground liberating these camps around Germany stop them and make them surrender or not?
Yes, we talked about General Patton. Yes, he did what it took.
Okay, great, exactly. So boots on the ground is necessary for some of these conflicts. We're seeing it in Ukraine and Russia right now. They're not just firing missiles at each other. They're not just saying, hey, you take a missile. No, you take a missile. There's obviously warfare happening in the trenches on the front lines right now.
You're giving me World War II. I'm giving you Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Okay? Failure, and failure.
But the failure wasn't because troops were on the ground. The failure was because, in Afghanistan, George W. Bush lied about there being WMDs and then sending us in there unjustly.
Correct.
That
Yes.
was the failure. So
Iraq
it's not
was a failure.
exactly the failure was the lie.
So we shouldn't
and
have
things
gone.
that followed. The failure is not having troops on the ground in a location in a war.
So we should have held those accountable that were responsible for 9/11 not going to Iraq. That's what we should have done.
I don't dis- I think our war in the Middle East was bad.
Yes, and we spent what, $3-4 trillion over there
Yeah,
doing
it
nonsense
was
for
ridiculous.
20 years.
It was ridiculous. Yep, it was ridiculous.
Ridiculous. So we can agree
And
on that.
Joe
I
Biden
love
got
that
us
we
out
can
of
agree.
Afghanistan.
So anyway, so the point is this. I
my
think
God.
that we should be able to agree that we should dramatically decrease the size of the empire. We should. Ultimately,
know,
we have
actually.
to.
I think that the military is something we can look at cutting, but I am not comfortable with taking our military bases out of places we're allied with. There's a reason why we do training exercises with South Korea and Japan, and we have a trilateral agreement now. There's a reason why we're doing training exercises with the Philippines, and now we have access to 4 new military bases because of Joe Biden. Look, our military readiness in the event that China or some adversary does something is crucial. We have to be able to react like this, not like
Okay.
this.
All right. Okay, I can be on board so long as the host country ponies up 50% of the cost. How about it?
50% of the cost of maintaining the base?
The 50% of the total cost of us providing security for their whole country.
But it's not just security for them that we're providing. It's security
No,
for...
I know, but like they want us there. Clearly, they want us there. They should just pony up some money. They should help pay for
Okay.
it.
All right.
That would be great.
I don't know what the... I'm sure that there's a rundown of what they pay for and what we don't, but I don't know what the rundown is for a given country.
Yeah, they don't pay. That's the point. We give everybody else aid. Nobody helps us. That's the point. And that's,
Well, that's
the
not
problem.
true. The only time that Article 5 has ever been invoked via NATO was the United States after 9/11. And we got a lot of aid from other countries for that.
We spent 3-4 trillion. I wonder how much everybody else spent combined.
Well, we have a larger GDP. We have a lot more money to spend.
Okay, but I'd love to. I wish somebody would show the numbers. I'm sure nobody has those numbers, by the way, of
I
what
don't know
they
what numbers
spent
you're asking for.
collectively in 20 years versus what we spent. It certainly was a fraction, tiny amount compared to what we spent. For what? Again, who were the winners?
Yeah.
The winners were those in the military-industrial complex. People got wealthy from all that spending for all those years.
Well,
Okay.
the United States had some benefit from that. We were able to take out Osama bin Laden
Yeah, maybe. I guess. I mean,
because we had intelligence on the ground.
maybe. You know, I don't know. I mean, his body like disappeared in the ocean. I don't know why they didn't bring him back.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know what
there's
happened.
no
I don't know
way.
actually what happened. I mean, he was on dialysis like 10 years earlier in a cave somewhere, but somehow he lived for 10 years. I don't.
I'm not diving into Osama bin Laden conspiracy theories. Dude,
I don't. I know. I'm just saying it was fishy. I don't have any idea what happened. No idea.
Yikes! We know what happened. His body's in the middle of the ocean somewhere in the Pacific, I guess. Or
Yeah, they should have brought him back. I mean, they should have.
Wait,
I mean,
to
they
do
should
what
have
with
studied his
him?
brain or something.
to do with what? What?
Maybe
What
we could
study
figure
him
out
for
what
what?
made him a madman. Like we shouldn't have just
Well,
dumped him in the middle of the ocean. That's
No,
silly.
we should just. Well, no, because then I think that there's some problems with bringing him back. Anyway, doesn't matter. All right, Clint, I'm done. This is boring.
Harry, awesome chat, man. I appreciate it. 70, almost 8,000 coins, bro. Holy smokes.
Well, I'm going to kick you out before you reach 8,000. So goodbye,
I got
Clint.
to come back. I got to come back sometime.
You're welcome to come back for sure.
I appreciate you, Harry. Thank you, man.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good night. Jeez Louise. Holy mackerel. All right, hold on.
Shit.
Yo, Alicia, thank you for the $2. And Lisa, thank you for the $3 on Cash App, guys. I'm a blue dot in a red state. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. I appreciate you. And thank you, Alicia. Eli, thank you for the $1. Saying, besides from all the politics, even though Harris 2024, have you started studying for the LSAT? If so, how have you been studying? I remember in the past you said you're pre-law. Yeah, there's some like practice questions you can do online. I just look up like LSAT practice questions. I also do like bar exam practice questions sometime for fun. They're fun. Brenna, thank you for the $10. Saying, I'm the president of my college Young Democrats in a red state. And this week we're doing a raffle for gift cards if you register to vote. Thanks for doing what you do to inspire us. Brenna, my God, what an amazing idea. And thank you so much for being involved. I'm hoping that you can get some young people registered to vote. Hopefully voting blue. That'd be great. Cohen, thank you for the $5 saying, was the guy in the live saying Jan 6 people were actors and despite that? Yeah, no, that's sorry to hear that, man. That people went after you for that. I'm sorry. Lori, thank you for the $5 saying from Lori and Story, writing more postcards tonight. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, that's everybody. And Eli, yeah. Venmo, Cash App, and the link in the bio if you want to support. And drop a follow if you haven't already, and double tap the screen. All right, man. You've been waiting. You talk the most. What do you want?
Holy shit, man! That dude cooked, man. I want a piece of that.
That
profit.
dude
that
cooked,
dude
really?
made like 10 grand or something. He's a millionaire now.
It's not 10 grand.
That dude, fuck. Give me a piece of that, audience. Holy shit.
I'm gonna kick you after that. If you get like, if people start giving you coins, I'm gonna kick you.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. I don't want
do
to
you
cook you like that, dude.
Wait, really? What did he cook on?
I don't know, a lot of things. Just logic. At the end of the day,
Like
it was
what?
just logic he cooked you on.
Like what? Like what?
I'm gonna bring it all up right now, if you want.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, I just hate that Kamala. She gets these interviewers. They're not even opposition. Donald Trump gets these hostile, like he said. This is one point. He gets these hostile interviewers. He answers to everybody. This Kamala lady, she tried to get Kai Cenat, whatever that dude's name is, begged him because she thought he was going to be a supporter. He's not. She only talks to supporters. And that I can't stand that. Like, she's going to be the president and she doesn't know how to speak to anyone that's opposing her thoughts.
Yeah, no, she's taking questions from reporters who don't just love her.
Yeah, so can you name one? One controversial
I'm
where
pretty
she
sure
got
she's
mad?
interacted with Peter Ducey at Fox News.
The only one where I saw she got mad at is when she said, "Please don't ask me about rappers. Let's move on."
Wait, I don't. Just because she got the indication of a reporter being hostile or not is not whether she gets mad or not, right? And also, I don't understand the need to speak to hostile reporters. That's not the goal of a reporter.
Not
a reporter is
hostile.
a reporter is the reporter to ask just like tough questions, right? Like ask questions to the person.
I would like to see her talk to interviewers who don't support her.
Like who? What?
Like anyone from
journalist.
Fox News. I would love for her to get a hard question from someone who doesn't support her. And that just
a journalist's job is not to be supporting someone or not supporting someone.
What did you just say right now?
I can't believe you came in here and talking all this talk. A journalist's job is to be impartial. It's not to be supporting somebody or not supporting somebody.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, but she doesn't answer any questions from anyone who doesn't support her.
She does. She's taken questions from reporters for 4 years. You guys just didn't pay attention to her. And she took she took questions from reporters before she got on a plane the other day and before she had a rally the other day.
Yeah.
But again, you guys
Can
just
you
don't pay
name
attention.
one hard question that she had to think about? Because
I don't memorize all the questions that Kamala Harris has asked.
Everyone see the inflation question that she got? Where she said, "Oh, it's very hard. It's very tough on families," but she never answered how she's going to fix it.
Okay. How is Donald Trump going to fix inflation?
We didn't have inflation with Donald Trump, so that's not even a valid question.
If there's a problem that Donald Trump is constantly talking about, saying, "Oh, inflation this, inflation that," how is he going to fix it?
We didn't have crazy inflation from 2016 to 20.
But you're saying that there's inflation now. Hey, buddy, you're saying that there's inflation now. So if there's inflation now, how is he going to reverse the inflation now and the high prices now? If you're saying that's your claim.
Just do the same thing he did in 2016
and what
to
did he
2020.
do? And what did he do? And what did he do?
He's a president, man. Only he knows. Obviously, it's very hard to do what he. Obviously, it's very hard to do what he did. Because
what did he
Biden
do? What did he do? What did
no one could do it.
What did he do?
Dude, prices were good for the average American.
And what did he do? You're saying that he kept inflation low. How? What did he do?
Dude, these are presidential things, man. Biden couldn't do it.
What do you mean presidential things? What did he do? What did he do?
He ran this economy the best he did.
Okay, how?
Dude.
How?
Could
How?
you?
What did he do?
Biden couldn't do it.
What did he do?
I already told you. He made everything affordable.
How? Okay, how did he make things affordable?
I don't know. You should ask that to Biden.
We're not talking about Biden right now. How did Donald Trump make things quote unquote affordable?
You're asking an American dude. Am I running for president? Ask Kamala how she's going to make it affordable for everybody.
You're defending Donald Trump. You're saying that. By the way, you're talking all this smoke up here. You were talking all this smoke in the chat saying you're going to destroy me. You're going to do all this stuff that you destroyed. Apparently, you said you destroyed Parker and Dean or something like that. I don't know what the hell you were talking about. But I'm asking you a simple question. You said that Donald Trump lowered prices. How did Donald Trump do that?
Dude, his magic, man. Like everything
Yeah,
was
right, dude.
affordable.
Get the hell out of my live, bro.
Yeah.
You can't hit me with any of that, bro. You can't hit me with, oh, it's the magic, dude. Get the hell out of my live. Anthony, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying live. I appreciate you, man. And Karen, thank you for the $5 saying you're smart. You have a lot of patience. Love you. Thank you so much, Karen. And thank you for being back here. I appreciate you. And Marshall, thank you for the $2 saying love you, bro. Thank you, Marshall. Thanks for coming back, man. Golly. Jeez. Louise. Man. Bro. How long have I been live, man? God, these people are crazy. I've run out of water. God, MAGA can't be real. Nary, I agree, man. This guy was really arguing for no military bases around the world. I mean, jeez, it's kind of a crazy view, no? No military bases in Japan, so we can't fight if we need to. It's kind of crazy. True Guts, thank you for the gold mine, man. I appreciate you being back here. Jack, why are you MAGA? How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2003.
Okay. Need to do some. Just before you go, you have to be above the age of 18. It's 2024. Why would you be 18 if you're born in 2003? Come on, man. Gotta be better on your feet, dude. Just think about it. Just think about it. It's not. Just think about it, dude. Come on. Wow. Taylor, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you. And Lena, the amazing Lena, thank you for the $20, Lena. I appreciate you so much. Saying catnip for Simba. Oh yeah. He tells me all the time. He's like, I love the people on live. It's like they're always so nice to me. Yeah, no, I appreciate you, Lena. Thank you so much for being back here. Shout out Lena. She's always here supporting. It means the world. And Christine, thank you for the $30 saying you held up a great...
When two girls do, they use things that simulate a penis. So you might as well have sex with a man anyway.
Yikes.
And we had just had a conversation a week prior, literally a week prior. And she was like, I don't understand why my kids don't tell me things. And I looked at her and I said, see, Mama, this is why we don't tell you shit. Because I'm sharing a very vulnerable piece of myself with you.
But you know
you
what?
saying some shit like that.
Mama Teddy needs to know that some of us straight girls use those things too.
That ain't none of my business, Lord. That ain't none of my business.
TikTok shop. It's the TikTok shop. You can buy some of those things in TikTok shop, my baby. Anyway, all right, we gotta go. We're gonna end. We gotta go.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. This is always much more pleasant to end like this. And yeah, great.
See here. Yeah, no, you can't. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. You know what? I'm gonna get more water. I'm gonna speed run it. Look. Ready? I'm gonna speed run it. If I'm not back in less than a minute, minute 30. If I'm not back in less than a minute 30, then I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Kamala Harris is running mate.
Yeah, I just
I was
real
just gonna
quick.
drop now.
So after spending the last couple days having some long discussions with some creators on this,
Bucks every time we do this. An inflated ego. Nice. Nice.
Christian Sebastian. He's not in the box, unfortunately. Yeah. All right. Dylan, I see you in the chat. I know you're not MAGA, buddy. I know who you are. Don't think I forgot. Come on now. Liam, what's up, man? Are you MAGA?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you forgot about me.
Oh, you're this guy. No. Ooh. No, I remember that voice. That voice is super annoying, and that guy is also super annoying. Look at him I think on the way out, he tried to say something. Maybe I don't think I can repeat it on TikTok, but yeah, he's one of those guys. I'm MAGA, but open to talking. I can't invite you, unfortunately. Let me up. I'm in the box. Kalen, let's give you a shot. Why not? Where are you, Kalen? There we go. Oh crap! I pressed the wrong person. Oh well, they didn't come up. It's Kalen, you got lucky. Come up. Come on up. And chat. Tell me why. Tell me why you're MAGA. Makes no sense. Kalen, hello?
Hey,
How old are you?
24,
What year were you born?
2000.
Yeah, dude. That's not true. Come on, man. We know that's not true. We know that's not true. You got to be above the age of 18. Everybody to be on TikTok Live. I think I had Stormy in here before. I'm not 100% sure. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support the live. Give Stormy another shot. I don't know if I think I did. Stormy, are you MAGA? Well, I think I know you're MAGA, right?
Hi.
Hi. Why are you MAGA? Why are you voting for Trump?
Actually, I have a question to ask you.
Oh, I do remember you. Okay. Why? What's up?
I have a question to ask you because I've been thinking about this.
Uh-huh.
Why should we vote for a president if the electoral college is the one that chooses them? Because aren't they the ones to do the votes to choose a president? Or am I wrong?
This is why we vote.
So when you vote in an election in your state, in a presidential election, you are voting for the person, but you're mostly voting for the electors who will then cast their electoral votes for said person. And a lot of these states have laws that restrict the electors. So you could, previous to the laws, you could be a faithless elector is what they call it, where it's somebody votes for somebody they weren't elected to vote for. Like, for example, let's just say elector was elected to vote for Hillary Clinton, but they voted for Trump. That's a faithless elector. But in a lot of these states, they have laws saying you can't do that. So you are voting for the person when you vote in an election.
Okay, my other question is, how does all of our votes count if most of the time the votes on the East Coast are already tallied before the West Coast and they're already announcing a winner by like 8, 9 o'clock at night, California time? Because it's a 3-hour difference.
Yeah, so
So how does our vote count if they're already announcing winners before California's polls are even shut?
Because we can make estimates. So your vote still counts. So you still have to vote in California for those electoral votes to go to the Democratic nominee, because that's typically how California votes. So California still needs to vote in order for their candidate to be selected, right? So, you'll see on the East Coast, that's where most swing states are, like the Georgias, the Pennsylvanias, the Michigans, the not Detroits, the Wisconsins, which are on different time zones, but they're kind of on the East Coast. If Joe Biden or Kamala Harris wins all of those states, like we know on the night of the election before California's polls close, we can make a reasonable guess that Kamala Harris is going to win the election because those swing states are voting for her. So by the time we get to California, it's very, 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 very likely going to be Democratic. So we can make that guess. Basically, I can actually give you a visual. Do you want like a visual thing on that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, the electoral map. Okay. Let me This is education. Hold on. All right. Please, the ads to go away. Sorry. Let me just do something really quickly. Okay. One second. Okay. Let me. This is gonna be fun. This is electoral fun. It's super fun, guys. All right. So let's just say that come election night, we know all of these states. All of these states are reporting bar like the West Coast, right? The Californias, the Oregons, the Washingtons. If Kamala Harris is winning these states, right, the Pennsylvanias,
Okay.
and then let's just say Donald Trump, let's just say she wins Arizona, Nevada, right? And let's just say Donald Trump wins Georgia. We know that these states over here are typically Democratic. They're typically Democratic. And we can estimate, like very often go Democratic. There's like a less than 1% chance that they vote for Trump. So based on these numbers, we can estimate how the states are going to vote. And when we make that estimate, you need 270 electoral votes to win, right? So Democrats currently have 224, Republicans have 240. When we estimate that they'll go blue, then Kamala Harris is the winner without all their votes being calculated. So, as Carrie was talking about, by midnight, like 60% of California votes are calculated, and by then we kind of know who the winner is, and also they're just projected winners.
Okay. And my last question to you is, how do you feel about when we sign petitions for things to go into a bill to be passed? How do you feel in regards to, after things pass, a judge saying, well, some rich person says it's not constitutional. I agree with that. So what you guys passed is not constitutional, so we void it out.
Well, petitions aren't bills. But that's irrelevant. So it's not just like a rich person says that something's not constitutional. They can file a lawsuit against a bill on constitutional grounds, an affected party or something like that, somebody who actually has standing. And then they have a court case, and then the judge can hear the court case, and then they can deem that said bill is unconstitutional for X, Y, and Z. But it's not that easy. There's like a whole process. And then they can appeal saying that it is constitutional. It can go up to the Supreme Court, and they decide. But that also is the system of government we have, checks and balances, so that, Congress can't pass a bill that infringes on our rights because the Supreme Court theoretically could strike that down, which is good. Checks and balances is good.
Okay, thank you, Harry. I appreciate your time.
No problem, Stormy. You have a great rest of your night, all right?
Take care. Bye-bye.
Claire, thank you for the $3, saying back at it again tonight. You're the best. We try. Oh, look who's back, man. Come on now. No way, bro. No way, dude. Jackson, thank you for the $1, saying this will be my first year voting. Is there any way I can join and you can help explain to me why vote Kamala? I understand I can just listen to you on live, but I would like to understand more. I respect your grind and hustle. Yeah, man, we can definitely make that happen for sure. I think we can make that happen. Rochelle, thank you for the $5, saying for calling out delusional MAGA Trump supporters. We try. Again, it's just doing our part. Hopefully. Sierra, thank you for the $5, saying King of Patience I think I fixed it. LMK. King of Patience, maybe comment on that, what you are trying to fix. I'm not 100% sure what you're referencing. That could just be me. It could just be my bad. Let's see here. Where is John? He is the map. Speaking of electoral map, where is he? Where is John? I just saw him. Where is John? There he is. Okay. Let's see what this guy has to say. Hello, how old are you?
Hey, what's up, Harry? I'm 19.
All right, moving on to the next guest.
Yeah, give it to Mike.
Kyle, what the hell?
You invited me up here.
Yeah, you said MAGA. You want to debate?
Hell yeah.
All right, who is this?
Harrison Hastings.
I wasn't asking for your name. I was asking you okay. How old are you?
I just turned 12.
Okay, well then if that's true, I got to kick you off. So the last chance. How old are you?
We just got back from a Zach Bryan concert. Zach Bryan 2024 MAGA.
Thanks, guys. Get the hell out of here. God help them. Zach Bryan's good, though. That's a good take. That's the only good take in that sentence. The whole MAGA stuff, wrong. Natalie, we'll give Natalie a shot. I just invited her if she wants to come up. Caden, I invited Caden. Whoever gets to choose, whoever comes up first gets it. Oh, Caden did. What's up, man? How are you, MAGA?
Hey, Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, so I turned 18 this year, right?
Are you 18 now?
Yeah, I turned 18 in March.
What's up, Law of the Wild? Okay, cool.
All right, and it's my first time voting, and I'll probably vote for Trump.
What state are you voting in?
Virginia. It's probably gonna be a blue state, so. But growing up, like during Trump's presidency, my parents they would buy stuff and they were like in a happier state with financial, just money and stuff.
See if we got anyone else.
Talk about Donald Trump's policies. Let's talk about Project 2025.
Wait, guys, let Amanda speak. I would argue that somebody who has tried to stage a coup to overthrow the government should never, ever see the White House ever again.
Okay, but in that instance, and listen, I've watched that whole thing. There are bad parts about that, and there's parts that I don't like. And I've watched both sides. I've watched Louder with Crowder.
I'm not
the entire
talking
election
about
night.
watching anything. That's the thing. The coup was
coming.
Okay, go ahead.
So until he's convicted by Congress in staging a coup, that's still not a disqualifier to become president. If he's convicted by Congress or the House, or I think that's how it's done, is the House, then the state representatives. What do you mean it's not true?
Yeah, all he has to do is give comfort to people that participated in it. So the fact that he, at the very least, all he has to do is say, "Hey, I will give you guys pardons." He is comforting people that have been convicted of it.
We have a couple of different indictments we could talk about. We could talk about the January 6th indictment. We could talk about the Georgia indictment. That one's my favorite because it wasn't just January 6th.
Hold on. Are those disqualifiers for becoming president?
I think that they would argue that his actions were absolutely disqualifying.
I understand, but right now, the way the system works is the only one that can convict him and disqualify him is Congress.
That's not true.
It is not the judicial system. It is Congress. That power is held with Congress and is a special power held by Congress.
No, because it would have to violate the 14th Amendment. And that doesn't have to be by Congress.
I have a quick question for Mr. Global. Mr. Global, why won't Joe Biden turn down the dial on his desk for gas prices and reduce gas prices? He could do it. He has a dial on his desk. Why won't he turn down the dial?
And he forgot where it was.
I mean, you have to admit that he could do the same thing for groceries, too. I mean, come on now.
Well, the fact is, I know that was a point that was brought up earlier, talking about inflation and all that stuff, but we're at like a 3% inflation, whereas corporate greeds are in their record profits, and they are the highest profit margins in the last 70 years.
Yes.
It is the reason we're seeing all of these high prices is because of rich people that think they need to buy a 50th yacht.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here, and I'm sorry. I don't think the president really controls that much. I think mostly he's a figurehead, and he signs bills into office, does some really cool stuff, really great stuff. He's able to get policies pass because he's supposed to be the middle of the aisle between the two parties and get things passed, just like the vice president has been doing for the last 3.5 years. Before that vice president did. And here's my problem with the whole thing is we're talking about things, and whether it's left or right, really we should all be talking about Congress. And yes, we're all tied up and wrapped up around the campaign, the presidential campaign, which happens every 4 years. But in the 2 years in the middle of the presidential election, nobody argues that stuff, and it should be argued. It's less argued than anything else on earth. And
I agree with you, James.
The president, go ahead.
I agree with you. I know Mandy and I, we argue stuff for Congress, against Congress members all the time. I know her and I specifically because I'm good friends with Mandy. I'm sure everybody else on the panel does as well. I love focusing on Congress members, especially House members, because their seats are up every 2 years.
Right. And so I'm totally in agreement. The problem, every time someone says one of those two things, let's just jump back to policy. And I think the guy that was 2 before me or something said it right. I have been looking for the vice president's actual policies and not what she's saying, because that's kind of bad too. And if Trump did that, I'd be a little upset about it because I probably wouldn't vote for him then. We can't have the same speeches over and over and over again just because you're in different cities. And I would like to hear some policy statements put out, some actual questions brought to her like they did Joe Biden, just like they've done to Trump, just like they've done to everybody else, including Hillary Clinton. And I think Trump said it the best. Hillary Clinton is a fighter. She will die trying, or she will fight all the way to the end, which is an amazing person. But I don't believe in stuff she did. The Benghazi thing, that was just a completely other side of the aisle thing. So
I totally agree with you. Benghazi was fucked up.
But
so it be saying that I think go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, this whole point that Trump says she hasn't even talked to the press. She has actually. After her Arizona rally, she talked to the press. I know she's been on a couple late night TV shows. Thank you guys. And talked to I think it was one of the Jimmys. I think it was Fallon. She's given other interviews. I don't know where he's getting She's never talked to the press.
Hold on. I don't get all my facts from Trump. That I am not a complete listening to Trump. I listen to CNN, Fox, MSNBC. I drive a heavy wrecker, so some of the day I'm home, some of the day in it, and I listen to talk shows all day long. And I will tell you that it's not so much that she probably has or hasn't been doing it. It's that mainstream media is not putting it out. And our mainstream media is broken. Whether it's Fox, MSNBC, CNN, or anybody, it's broken. And most facts actually come out on TikTok. A lot of these news agencies have people listening to TikToks and they go and investigate it. And it has become more prevalent now this year than years in past. So, and it's not just TikTok, it's YouTube, it's all the panels that people are having. And the entire situation, I haven't heard her actually come out on mainstream media and talk. I'm not saying she has or hasn't. I'm just saying I haven't. I've only listened to sound bits, and that's because sometimes I catch it late, and that sucks. So, but on the same hand, I want to see the same questions that they were asking President Biden asked to VP Harris. I want to see the same questions, not just, oh, well, she's the VP, she has no power. I get she has no power. The VP is the ultimate figurehead.
What questions do you want to see asked to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance?
Oh, there's tons of questions. Listen, I want to see Trump actually asked about policies and actually go in depth with it. He'll talk about a policy, and no offense, but he does go off the rails with it sometimes. The last debate, he did really good, and he was listening, and he was actually like trying to bring in stuff, but I'm tired of politicians. It's not just Trump. It's all politicians. We want to hear the actual question. What?
He didn't really answer the questions. He just made up his own answers.
Yeah, but that's every politician. And that's the truth. Joe Biden didn't answer the questions, really. Nobody has. Nobody has in the past 20, 30 years. Hell, I think the last great president we had, no offense, in this modern era was Clinton. And he did what he had to do and got out of office. And I'm a diehard Republican. I voted red the entire time of my adult life.
James, real quick.
Yeah.
I bought Vance's couch.
Oh. No. So the moral of the story is, yes, I want to see politicians held accountable across the board. And I want to see them actually answer the questions truthfully and not just beat around the bush. Yes, our border sucks, and nobody can tell me it doesn't. I've been to the border. I was down in Texas before I was a heavy wrecker. I was running loads down to Texas for trucking, and the border sucks. And yes, I agree there's asylum, asylees, and all that, but let's do it the right way. My best friend was an illegal alien in all technicality. And we spoke when Trump first didn't get elected this last time. And he even says they have to go to the border checkpoint. Stop crossing the river. He did it for like 40 years of his life. Every time he wanted to go to Mexico. And for the last 15 years, he never went to Mexico until he got his citizenship. And it weighed heavily on him not seeing his father except for the last year of his life. And his father is tragically unalived, and he didn't get to see 15 years of his father's life because he crossed the border illegally. Whether it's legal or not, you can't cross the border illegally. That's breaking the law, whether it's civilian or civilly or criminally. You can't cross the border illegally. Walk up to a checkpoint.
Whoa.
Come in the country.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. So law and order is very important to you.
I never said law and order wasn't important to me. I think our justice system sucks. Just like our border policies suck. The asylum and everything sucks. There should be better ways for people to come into the country. Because yes, absurd to all the Republicans and all the Democrats, we do need people in this country. But they need to come here legally and with a right process, a better process. Because just like our justice system sucks, our border system sucks too. So
why did Republicans kill the bipartisan bill that would have fixed that?
Thank you for the subscription.
I'm going to say this. Donald Trump he influenced for the bill to get killed, but he was not the one that voted for it. So Congress
he was not the one who voted for it. He's the one that killed it. That bill would have fixed everything that every single Republican is complaining about relative to the southern border, and Donald Trump killed it. So how do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump is responsible for the southern border right now?
Okay, if you're influenced outside of your district, then you should not be in Congress. This comes back to the whole Congress thing. If you were in the House,
I asked you a question about Donald Trump.
Because I don't believe that Donald Trump should have been able to do that. It lies within the Congress.
But
he did. It doesn't matter if he did or did not. He influenced it. But in the same hand, it's up to Congress, the House members, and the representatives of this country and your district to vote what you want, not what the current president wants or the former president wants.
So the GOP is problematic.
I think our whole system's problematic. But yes, the GOP in that part sucks, and they should have voted for it. I don't know if it would have fixed it. I'm hoping it would have, but we're past that now.
I have a video from Troy Nels, who is one of the biggest proponents for closing the border, or so he says. This is what he went on the Lou Dobbs show before Lou Dobbs died.
Before you jump into that, I'm going to say goodnight.
Wait, hang on 1 second. Did anybody go on the Lou Dobbs show after Lou Dobbs died?
Yes.
I did talk. I was there.
Mike Lindell kept his show
Global.
going.
Of course, it was fucking Mr. Global.
It's the only way I would go.
But
Good night,
this is
everyone.
night, Mandy. I love you.
Love you too.
But I'm going to show you this clip because this is what the congressman who voted down the bill said. And I think this is really important to hear. These are Republicans claiming the border is so bad.
Attention now. It's good to see America starting to pay attention. Joe Biden's approval rating's at 33%. I just love that. I don't think that should be the floor. I think it's even going to get worse than that because he's destroyed this country. People don't like what's happening at the southern border. I think it's the number one issue now. I think the economy is number two. And so we're going to hit him over the head with it. And now what they're trying to do, Lou, is they're trying to stop the bleeding, and they're finding some soft Republicans and some Democrats on the Senate side to come up with a real border security measure, a border security bill. They don't care about the southern border. We wouldn't be talking about the southern border if Joe Biden's approval rating was at 53%. He doesn't want to secure the border, and I'm not going to help him. I am not going to help him, Lou, improve that 33% approval rating.
So why isn't his district voting him out?
It's Texas. I couldn't tell you.
But does that make sense? We can't blame it on other people. I do blame it on other people, but in the same hands, I blame it on the entire system, the political system. The president shouldn't be influencing these people. Their district should be influencing these people, just like we should have term limits for everybody. And this is my opinion. I think to be elected to office, to federal office, you should have to serve a city government seat, a county seat or village seat, and then all the way up to a state seat and then to a federal seat. And you should have term limits on all of those so we don't have the same people in office doing this kind of crap all the time. Just like the president has 8 years, everybody else should have 8 years.
I mean, seriously, it's like magnets. How do they work? I mean, come on now.
I mean, obviously, when you just drop them in the water, they stop working, according to Trump, right?
Well, I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but in your opinion, though, do you think he's right that magnets could possibly stop working in the water? Or would they get electrocuted by the shark batteries or something?
It's just my opinion that if you're on a boat in the water, in the ocean, and that boat is an electric boat, and it has a giant battery, and then that boat starts to sink, and there's a shark, and it's like, am I going to get electrocuted by the battery, or am I going to get eaten by the shark? Completely ignoring the fact that if the boat sinks with that giant battery and I'm going to get electrocuted, but the shark's not going to get electrocuted, and then I'm going to have to fight a shark that's not getting electrocuted while I'm getting electrocuted, and it's like fucking magnets. How do they work?
I mean, I'm going to choose Sharknado every single time. I mean, some people would just choose electrocution every time, but, you know, that's just my opinion.
I appreciate... Hold on, I appreciate all you guys. It's been awesome talking with you guys.
Oh, don't you dare leave yet. Don't you dare leave yet. You didn't need to come up. I didn't like wait for an hour to come up and chat with you so you could monologue for an hour and a fucking half and then just go bye. I just got to tell my entire life story about how I'm going to vote for a fucking rapist because that's my opinion that people should just be completely innocent when they've been proven guilty already because you had a bad experience and then you're just going to vote for the person that's the actual felon, convicted felon, instead of the DA person. That makes no fucking sense, in my opinion, James. In my opinion.
On that, just remember what I've said.
Oh, that don't worry, it's instilled in my brain because you repeated things 50 times.
Just saying, that's not a disqualifier for presidential office.
No shit, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. Yeah, nothing. I mean, neither is being a rapist, but you've been basing everything that you said tonight off of your fucking opinion instead of what the qualifications for being president are. We already know what those are. You have to be 35, a fucking citizen of the United States.
Why is the entire world only focused on
my opinion, I don't give a shit.
And him being a felon? The entire world is. She is, and so is he. She's
not a felon.
Let's talk about policy. Yes, she is. She's in the last rallies she's had, she has said that I'm a DA and I know Donald Trump's type, and she shut it down because people were yelling, "Lock him up," and that's not her job, and that's election interference.
Yeah, okay, so that she's not a felon.
Elected and puts him in jail, then that's election interference.
That's not what's going to. No.
Oh, there
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
No. Wait, hang on. There it is. True colors. There it is. 100%. True.
How's that true colors?
100%.
I see, Hawk. He thinks that if Kamala becomes president and is elected, that she's just going to automatically just have the power to just throw Trump in jail no matter what. Really?
Hang on. I have a serious, legitimate
the ultimate prosecutor when it's a federal prosecutor.
Also,
I have a question for James. James, what are you going to do the day after the election when Kamala Harris wins?
Me? I'll just continue life and keep debating. I'll still call her my president. It's still, see, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. I believe in both sides, and I'm hoping both sides actually.
Yeah, we know. We don't need all that. Less words, please. Less words. Please, less words.
So the point is, if she gets elected, and I'll tell you what'll make actually a really great president. If Trump gets elected and gives a pardon to all of Biden's stuff, that'll be awesome. And his son's stuff.
Biden has not broken any law.
Biden doesn't have to be pardoned for anything because he hasn't been indicted, nor has he been convicted, nor was he impeached because of. Oh my God, James, just stop.
He wasn't impeached. He wasn't actually impeached. The Senate didn't impeach
I gotta go, guys. It was amazing to see all of you in this live tonight. I gotta go.
Good night, Hawk. Save yourself, run.
But he has been. He is twice
No,
impeached.
No, James.
Twice impeached.
He was not impeached. He was brought up on the impeachment charges and
Trump
brought
was
to the
twice
Senate.
impeached.
The Senate did not impeach him. The Senate did not confer to impeach him.
Oh, now, okay. Well, in my
doesn't
opinion,
impeach anybody.
James.
The House impeaches. He was never impeached in the House.
James, in my opinion, and also the fact is that Trump was impeached twice, and is also a civilly liable rapist. That's not my opinion either. That's a fact.
But the facts are, you can still run for presidential office.
I know you said that. We know that. We know that. We know,
So
James.
then
We know, James.
So, well, you know what you can't run for office for is if you are involved with an insurrection. Now, what they did, what the Supreme Court ruled on was he can remain on the ballot. There has not been a ruling whether or not he can actually hold the office. So if he is actually elected president, there's a chance that they could say, well, no, you are involved with the insurrection and you can't hold office. That's still a possibility.
They could.
What's your opinion, James?
I don't think
on that one. Oh, you weren't going to tell us your opinion on that part? Okay.
Did you not hear me?
Hi, Logic Gal. Yeah, I've kind of tuned you out at this point.
Diane.
What? Hi.
Diane, did you say it took you an hour to get up here?
I mean, give or take.
Oh.
I left for a little bit, and then came back and was like,
I was going to say, it took me like 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, we're not.
But you're Mr. Wolf.
Great power.
Anyways, so you guys have a great night. I'll be on whenever I'm on again, and I'll ask to come back up and we can debate some more. Come on.
So you can tell us your opinion on why you're going to vote for a rapist.
Bye, James.
Bye, James. Make better
All
choices.
right, you guys have a good night. See ya. Bye.
Bye, James. Interesting.
This is also the guy that was trying to say about about Walz and giving his 5 million cents on him having stolen valor, which is absolute bullshit, and then having to tell us about his entire 8-year Army career.
Didn't he say something about, to be in office, they should, move up through the ranks, like have a state office and all that? Didn't this guy just say that? Like they should have like a local office, a state office, some type of federal office?
He totally said that. Like working your way up to the minor leagues or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't we already have those things?
Yeah, but you know, the guy he's voting for
skipped all those steps.
That entire.
Yeah. But he was this great businessman. That's what he ran on the first time. We want a businessman, not a politician. Like, yeah, the guy that's literally bankrupted most, if not, of his businesses. Oh boy.
Oh, and I've got a whole thing about how you should never run a government like a business.
Amanda, I'm gonna take off too. It's almost 2, so.
Was it something I said, Fuzzer?
No, not at all. I've been up here for a little while.
It was.
Matter of fact, I was about to go to bed. I forgot
in the Democratic Party, but I feel more welcomed in the Republican Party because I.
Buzzard, but if you're gonna stay to talk to Daddy Swags, oh boy.
Do you have like an Amazon wish list? Because I feel like I need to send you like this old little bring clean machine or something for that couch.
Oh God! Oh my God!
I think he wants you to call him Daddy.
No, it's all a figment of your imagination, Daddy Swags.
Oh my Lord! Oh no!
Just say that you want Buzzard to say your name slowly. He'll do it.
Say my name slowly.
Okay, Buzzard. He wants you to call him Daddy, Buzzard. Come on.
Dad, you're my daddy. Oh yes.
That was really good. That was really good.
I've been practicing it.
Nicely
I need my
done.
emotional support pillow.
Anyways, guys, have a good night.
This is your guest. You can't leave me. You can't leave me.
It's almost 2.
Give him like 5 minutes.
It's like it's 19 minutes until 2.
5 minutes for the last freaking 3 hours.
Okay, but I brought him up for you.
I'm actually pro all of this, so I mean, it doesn't really do much for him if, you know what I mean? I wanted so bad to sort of debunk all of the stuff the prior guy was saying. I'm an active duty service member. And
Real quick before I go, Amanda, I'm pretty sure I could have made the Olympics for the Australian breakdancing team. Did you see that?
Australian, dude.
Good night, Buzzard.
Did you see that mess?
I watched your breakdancing video again today, Buzzard. Somehow.
Yeah, right? Me and
he just
Trump
looks
were
like
both
a hurt turtle.
All right. Good night, guys.
Bye, Buzzard.
Good night, Buzzard. Make choices.
Okay, Daddy, you have the floor.
Ooh, Amanda, get it.
Look it easy, Amanda.
the way you said it.
She's all Daddy.
Oh my God.
Sorry, neighbors.
I should probably change my screen name, honestly.
Oh my God, I thought there was a button on Manda, but it was actually a spider on my phone. Fuck. Get out. Go away, spider. Fuck you.
I mainly was, I was trying so hard to get in on the conversation that the last guy was in because I'm an active duty
how
service
hard,
member.
Daddy? How hard, Daddy?
Pretty hard.
Like really, really hard.
Really God. Like so hard.
All right. Anyway, let's let him finish what he was gonna say.
You started it, Amanda. Sorry.
So he kept saying over and over again, like, "Oh, I've served 8 years in the military. I've served it." Like, dude, and I was posting in the comments over and over again, like, I am currently actively serving in the United States military, in the Army as a soldier. Like, let me in on this conversation. Like, I know all the deeds. I can give you the details. This guy's full of shit. Like, I can break all this stuff down, and I didn't really say that, but like I probably should have. But in either case, I
Daddy,
really,
next time you need to be here, Daddy.
I really just wanted to join in the conversation while he was here, so I could try to like enlighten him, because I don't know how long he served for. Well, he said 8 years, but I don't know when he got out of the service. You know what I mean? So like, depending on whether, depending on when he got out of the service, things may have changed since then. And in that essence, he probably has no idea what the hell is going on right now as far as active service is concerned. So I don't know. But even still, I felt like I could have provided something to the conversation that would have been worthwhile.
Well, as an active duty, because I was in the Army, but obviously not anymore. As an active duty, we look at this timeline, right? February, he filed to run for Congress. March, Guard announced possible deployment within 2 years. May, he retired. July is when the orders dropped. What is something super important missing from this timeline?
Not a whole lot. I mean, like, so, when you drop your retirement packet, and it's the exact same thing that he said, and I don't understand why he didn't see the irony in that, but like, when you drop a retirement packet, that can take 6 months to like 2 years for that to go through.
Because you have to clear everything.
And he was running for Congress. Why would he run for Congress at the same time and then be like,
started
but I
running
could
for
get deployed?
Congress in fucking February, which means he had to have dropped his retirement packet, or at least the HRC knew that he was going to be retiring at that time, which was the only way that he would have been able to run for Congress during that time frame. Not only that, but 2 months after that is when his unit was alerted that they were going to be deployed. If anybody knows anything about fucking military deployments, when your unit gets an alert to deploy, that's literally the first fucking time they're hearing about it.
Yep.
Say more, Daddy. Say more.
So there is no, there's no juxtaposition here. There's no call for like stolen valor or whatever the fuck anybody's trying to say in that regard. That makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
May I ask a clarifying question to those who have served before, as far as stolen valor is concerned? I mean, from what my understanding is, stolen valor is just that if you're trying to represent yourself as either a current, or active duty and or retired veteran by trying to get free things when you never actually served at all, period.
Well, it's to get something, even if it's clout. You can get stolen valor from clout.
Right. That's like when you served 24 years, because that's not in question. When you served 24 years, in what way is that considered stolen valor?
Oh, because they don't understand Army process, or I guess National Guard, but it's, National Guard, Army process is the same. So the process of, okay, well, you didn't complete all the courses with Command Sergeant Major, which means you automatically get booted back down in retirement. They don't understand that.
I mean, it's MAGA, so.
They claim that he was never a Command Sergeant Major, except he was in 2003. Mm-hmm. He just didn't complete all of the prerequisites, like 3 years as a Command Sergeant Major and whatnot, in order to retire with that rank. It's really not that hard of a concept. It happens in the military all the time.
And that's well documented, yes?
I have an extremely unpopular opinion in this regard.
Ooh, tell us, Daddy.
I feel like, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, okay. I feel like we should probably go toward mandatory military service. I honestly feel like that's where we should sort of shift things toward. That way more people understand not only what it's like to serve in the first place, but they understand more about what goes on in the service when you serve, and the inner workings of it and things like that. Because there's so many civilians that you have to like dumb things down to a certain extent when you talk to them about certain things.
Yeah.
And it just makes conversations about these kinds of topics that much more complicated and unnecessarily so. So that's my unpopular opinion right there.
I wouldn't say it's unpopular. I'm kind of on the same boat. I'm so sick of arguing with these freaking pogues that have never laced up to try to explain service, and them just to sit there and tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, really? My number one question is, how long does it take to ETS? They never can seem to tell me. And if they do look it up, they would know that his ETS date was like over here. Like, that's when he started his ETS.
Daddy, put on your seatbelt, Daddy, please. Don't forget your seatbelt. Safety first, Daddy.
No, I'm walking around right now.
That sounded like a car starting, Daddy. My engine got revved up, but...
If you keep talking like that, Diane, I'm going to have to go on mute for like 14 seconds and I'll be right back.
14?
Every time she says it. Every single time.
Daddy?
I'm still free.
Daddy?
I'm changing my screen name after this.
Daddy, don't you dare.
Just change it to Big Daddy Swag.
Ooh.
I think somehow that would be worse.
No, not at all.
Big Daddy?
Big Daddy Swag. Don't forget to buckle up.
He did that, even though he says he grabs women by the vagina, kisses them in the mouth without their consent, and women said that he did it. You don't believe it.
Yeah. And you don't believe the courts of law that have convicted him of this.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not really.
So right. So this is
crazy.
So this is your cognitive dissonance, right? This is you needing to be so right because you're so fragile that you can't protect anyone that you love or care about because it's
Zen. He is in.
Are you? Are you in, Daddy? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
You're
Hang on,
so
I'm ready now.
inappropriate. You're so inappropriate, Diane.
You're welcome. Oh, bye, John.
Just
No
a
choices.
good day. Just a good day. That's what today is.
Say it. Say more, Daddy.
So, Daddy, does that mean that you're voting for Kamala?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, thank goodness.
Oh, hang on. I'll be back in 14 seconds.
Is he actually convinced?
And I love how she in 14 seconds, like in 14 seconds exactly.
Okay, let's see. We have a rando.
Hey, how's it
Okay.
going?
We have
Sorry
a
about that.
Jacob. Welcome, Jacob.
So
Do
I
you
was in
happen
here
to be-
earlier. If I'm correct, you're from Minnesota, right?
I am.
What's up, Jacob?
You're probably as tired as I am then, right?
I am absolutely tired, but depends on what.
So I'll say I remember you were looking for Trump supporters earlier specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I'm 24, I'm male, I'm fresh out of college. I would probably say myself, as of right now, I'm a fringe Trump supporter. I'm, in the past and hopefully in the future, I would say I could go either or, Republican, Democratic. It really just depends on, who I think is best fit for the job. And,
All right. Well, let's
I'm not
talk
going to
about
sit
why
here.
Kamala is the best.
You're right. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. But I'm not going to sit here and defend Trump. I know, he is a felon. He's a POS. He tries to portray himself as, the American true patriot, but that's what he should be doing because that's the way to, gain more Republican votes. They're probably more seen as, they love America and stuff like that. So that's what he should be saying. But on my stance as somebody who's kind of going into the adult world. I'm gonna start, I'm looking for houses. I'm looking for cars.
Don't do it.
I'm looking to start my life, essentially.
Don't do it. It sucks. Don't do it.
I'll tell you what. I don't want you to feel ganged up on, so I'm going to let Mr. Global talk to you first.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm open to criticism. I'm not trying to I know there was this guy in here earlier who's from the military, and he was kind of shouting and stuff. I'm not trying to create any hostility. I'm just trying to be cordial about this stuff, because I'm honestly, I'm just open to criticism, and just, I'm looking for opinions, essentially. And I feel I don't trust the news at all, both sides.
James had a lot of
it always just leans one way or another. So I feel like this is more just a safe space to kind of talk about stuff like this.
All right. Well, I can tell you about... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, Daddy. Daddy?
You're so good, Daddy.
God damn it.
So good.
If I may, it sounds like you have a certain amount of respect for military personnel.
Absolutely, yeah. On my grandfather's side, I think he had 2 other brothers, and they served in each branch of the military.
All right. I would say take that with a grain of salt, number one.
Absolutely.
Firstly, because what a lot of people don't take into consideration is that folks that serve in the military are just regular motherfucking folks.
Absolutely.
We're just regular ass people that decided one day to sign a contract that said we needed to serve our country. And
yep, most people who do that are just people who are just confused about what they want to do with their life, and they think that is the right thing to do to serve their country, which I respect.
Right, especially nowadays. Yeah,
especially.
So, the brother that was on here prior had a lot of, I would say, arguments that just did not hold up in the face of the actual facts that we can see with our own eyes, hear with our own ears, going on right now. Right.
Oof, say more, Daddy.
And so with even with his prior military service, we can understand, we can know that, none of what he was saying was factual, the majority of it.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear all of what he said. I just heard a lot of the ranting, so I left to just go do some other stuff, and I just rejoined.
That's not a problem. The majority of what he was saying was based in opinion, not necessarily factual. Right? I don't want to say that everything that he was saying was completely wrong, but the majority of the stuff that he said was based solely on his personal opinion.
Okay.
Where he got those opinions from, don't know, couldn't tell you. Doesn't matter to me. But either way, it just goes to show wherever your personal opinions or personal nuances are tied to does not always necessarily mean you have to derive your own opinions from those sources.
Correct. No, I agree with you 100%.
Right. Yeah. You can still come up with your own solutions, your own answers to the questions that you have, regardless of anybody else's opinions, unless, of course, those opinions are not opinions, they are in fact facts.
Right.
Right. A lot of people point to, what color's the sky? Oh, it's blue.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, yeah, if you look at the science of it, it's not actually blue. It's just we perceive it as being blue. Right?
Daddy, whatever color you think it is, I'm cool with, Daddy.
Right. Like a couple of folks or
Sorry to cut you off. I mean, I know you mean very well. You're a very great guy, I can tell. But I think, the whole point of people coming to this live is to talk about, the political aspect. So I think I'm just going to start getting into that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think, some of the most problems that I've had that have made me, not want to vote for Kamala is just mainly from, the flip-flopping that I've seen. I remember the recent one was, I think it might have been 2 months ago. People can correct me if you want. I won't care. But I think it was about 2 months ago that Trump mentioned, not wanting to tax waitresses for their tips. And I remember seeing all over the media saying, this is going to help the rich. They're just going to start taxing them more on their regular wages and stuff like that. It's not going to work out. He said that, I think it was in Nevada, and then recently Kamala said that in Nevada.
Can y'all pause real quick? Maybe both of y'all mute real quick and then unmute. Y'all have a terrible echo, and it makes me not want to say
I'm sorry.
Daddy 10 times instead of 5.
Are we good?
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure I just heard Kamala basically said the same thing, and I'm absolutely all for it.
Kamala.
Sorry, I apologize. Kamala said that, and I'm all for that. I feel like the tips that they get is for the service. If you're acting kind to them, it's going to make people want to go back to the restaurant. It's going to gain then, returning customers and stuff like that. It's a good thing. But the problem I had with that is that, the overwhelming negativity that was towards Trump when he first said that, towards when Kamala just said that in the same state, and now all of a sudden everybody is essentially praising her for that. And that's just the thing. I'll say this flat out. I believe 90% of government is not for our side. I don't think anybody in government is going to save us. I don't think they're for us. I think they're either in the money-making business or the empire business and trying to make a name for themselves or their name. But the problem I have is just the way that the mainstream media just kind of switches to her side and says, wow, what a great person. I'm so happy that she said that. Whereas, when Trump said that, he was ostracized for saying that. And that's just the type of thing that I just hate to hear about, because it's it's the same thing. Back when Mitt Romney and Obama were in the runnings for president, it was very cordial. There was no animosity. Most of this stuff happened when Trump started in his election process, where everybody just started hating each other, and it's either red or dead or blue forever, that type of stuff. I hope that we get out of that, mindset in the future. But
can I just add, when I don't know what vitriol or whatever you're speaking of with Trump's plan, because that was a plan actually that was put forth by Bernie Sanders. And so Trump took that, and that's fine. And then Kamala also took that platform because I think it's a good platform. I think that both candidates can have it.
Right. No, I'm not saying both candidates can have it. I think just the problem that I had was the discourse from when Trump said it compared to when Kamala said it. Obviously, not a lot of these ideas are original. Most of these ideas are just stuff that they say that probably aren't ever going to happen. Like most things that presidential candidates say, it's mostly just stuff to, get them to, get people to vote for them.
Issue is with the media versus us?
My problem is basically like the mainstream media kind of just leaning towards one way versus the other when they're both talking about the same exact thing.
Well, I can't say I've seen it, but sorry, go ahead, Daddy.
Go, Daddy.
Go, Daddy.
So, what I think I want to say here is that a couple of things, and a lot of the things I'm about to say are pretty reminiscent of what I was probably going to say to the guy that was on before. When it comes to...
Hold on, sorry. I'm just reading this chat. It's like, is it pronounced... They said it's pronounced Camelot? That's what somebody said?
No, comma.
Kamala.
Kamala?
Kamala, yeah.
Kamala, okay.
Yeah.
I apologize.
All good. When it comes to the mainstream media, first of all, right? Here's the problem we have with the mainstream media. First of all, when the media came on the scene in like the early 20s, it was all, radio and not much visual there. But it was the new big thing, and everybody was up in arms about it, like, oh, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. They were able to keep up with sports. They were able to keep up with presidential elections. They were able to keep up with all these things. Eventually, what happened was we got so technologically advanced that now we have social media. Now we have all these different platforms that we can get our media from, right? And it has become an endless, and I mean endless, 24-hour news cycle where it doesn't matter what the hell the news is. If you put it up and you say that it's news, it must be news.
Right.
And people will tune in, and people will listen, and people will watch, and that's how you get your money. And that is a huge... I think that is a massive part of the problem we're seeing right now as it pertains to, the mainstream media when it comes to news and journalism, things like that.
It's unfortunate, too, honestly.
Hell yes, absolutely. The second thing I wanted to say...
Oh my god, that was just the first thing?
Oh, that was just the first thing, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I can stop. No,
normally I'd be like, say it slower, Daddy, but now I'm like, hurry up and spit, Daddy. I'm going to spit it out.
I'm sorry, Dan. Are you the groundhog? Are we seeing the winter?
I'm a beaver. I'm a happy beaver, though. Rah, rah, rah. I don't know.
Like I said, I'm not like...
I'll be whatever you want me to be, Daddy.
Like I said, I'm not like probably the fanatic that you guys would want to debate with. I'm more of just like a young adult who's just starting to go into this world. So I'm just trying to like gain some more insight on I'm trying to gain opinions. And
I think that so what you just said really kind of bleeds into what I was going to say just a moment ago, which is that, it doesn't matter if you are just now getting into politics, or if you've already been in politics, or if you're not even into politics, you just happen to be somebody that glanced across this shit. It doesn't matter. It is relevant to you. That's number one. Number two is that, this... A lot of these things that the people are talking about on stage when it comes to debates and their rallies and things like that. So, were you the one that mentioned Kamala flip-flopping?
Yes, I did. I've heard, it wasn't so much of Kamala flip-flopping. Kamala. I know, I'm getting better, I promise. Kamala. It wasn't so much Kamala flip-flopping, it was the media flip-flopping, but I have also heard instances of her flip-flopping, such as like with the defund the police issue. She, this was obviously during 2020, being a Minnesotan during the time George Floyd, that was awful. Everybody was saying defund the police. My stance on that I would say fund the police even more, because the problem is, especially in downtown St. Paul, Minneapolis, is there just isn't enough police officers who want to do good. If we defund the police, then it's just going to be, the racist individuals who want to go in there and play God, essentially. But if we fund the police more, we could even create jobs in doing so. If we fund them more, then we can keep them on a camera 24/7. And so we can have people that would...
Happy peanut butter tongue punching.
So, Jacob, I agree with you. I don't think that was the best messaging, but I can tell you that you live in Minnesota with me?
Correct.
Okay, so you know that Governor Walz, while signing the Minnesota Police Accountability Act, which banned chokeholds, expanded mental health de-escalation, because, let's be honest, nobody should be coming to a mental health issue and pew-pewing people, right? But he also funded, he gave millions of dollars funding for the police department to do all of these trainings. $15 million in community violence protection grants. He funded the police, and that's actually one of the things that he said is, when in 2020, when people were saying defund the police, he's like, no, we need to fund them.
Right. No, I agree with
better.
you. He absolutely did say that.
Yeah, he did.
So I love Tim Walz.
No, he was honestly a great governor. I'm not speaking just strictly on Minnesota. I was speaking on just the United States as a general. Now that he's the VP candidate, I know there's still a lot of people who are saying defund the police, but as I was saying, if we fund them more, it'd give more justice seeking people, more motivation to go into the police force. It'll kick out more of these racist, unfit people who are in the police force as of now. They'll be essentially just slowly kicked out. We'll see less of people who are racist in one county, and they'll get fired, and then they just go to the next county and join their police force, that type of deal, because that happens all the time.
Oh, yeah,
all the time.
So here's the issue with that. That has been going on since Clinton's administration, right? Their administration is starting with Clinton. And I forget how many it was exactly, but they surplus the numbers of policing in pretty much every state across the United States, and they had since then a rise in police brutality instances, racial profiling instances, things like this, and when it comes to defunding the police, nobody is saying that we should not fund our police. That's not what defund the police is about. What defunding the police is really about is putting more funds instead of into the police system, where they receive things like military grade weaponry and freaking SWAT cars and things like this. Okay. Instead of receiving that type of stuff, they put those funds into things like mental health services or child protective services, things like this.
I guess the problem I would have with that is just, some of the people were saying, I apologize for my poor wording. Some of the people in the chat are criticizing me again. I don't mind it. I'm probably not wording everything as correctly as I should be saying as possible.
I just ignore them, Jacob. I just ignore them.
It's kind of like the wording in defund the police. Like a lot of the radical right-wingers will see defund the police and they'll be thinking, okay, well, they want to defund the police. They want to lower their wages and stuff like that. So I think maybe just rewording that, just something that will just tell the people like, okay, we're not defunding the police. We're improving the police, where we're holding them more accountable. We're keeping them on camera 24/7. We're creating more jobs where people's jobs are to literally just look at people's policemen's cameras after they're retired from the day, looking at what they did and saying, okay, yeah, they did a good job, or okay, you can't be doing stuff like that, just something simple as that would just vastly improve the policing system. Because I don't know if you heard about this, Amanda. I think it was like a month ago, a policeman got a call. I don't know if it was St. Paul or Minneapolis. I think it was Minneapolis, but he got a police call. It was a distress call. He went over there and he was essentially assassinated. It was tragic. And it's just stuff like that just really makes people, especially with, like I said, the wording of defund the police and the stuff like that just makes people not want to join the force. The people that I feel like that could do a good job in protecting the people won't end up joining the force because it's just dangerous. It's just not a safe job. And if people hear defund the police, then they're not going to want to do it.
Amanda, do you have any mods?
I don't know, maybe. I'm not too worried about it, unless they're saying, like, blatantly racist stuff.
No, just the ones that say "watch my nudes" and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Are those your cats, Diane?
Oh no, they're my dogs.
But no, I agree. I think that the Democrats suck at messaging. That has been my number one complaint about them for like 4 years. They suck at messaging, whether it was the defund the police thing, because everybody who actually paid attention to what they were trying to say was, okay, they want to demilitarize the police. I'm all on board with that. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure there were some that were, wanting to abolish the police departments, and I don't agree with that. But overall, the Democrats have sucked. Like, Joe Biden has a number of accomplishments, and they are not tooting their own horn. They're not bragging about all of the accomplishments, and they really need to step up their game.
Like I said, that was the problem, like back with the Mitt Romney, Obama debates, they were cordial. It was more just talking about accomplishments. They were shaking their hand. They were talking about what a good job they were doing. But nowadays, it's always just not talking about the good jobs you're doing. It's about talking about what the other side is doing bad.
Well, that's because we've got Trump over here doing all this bad shit and then not taking accountability for any of it, and then...
Correct. I'm not saying Trump didn't do anything bad. I don't think he's a good president at all. But I just think, like I said, as a soon to be 24-year-old, I'm not quite 24 years old yet, but I'm soon to be an adult, just looking at how the past 4 years are, and just, I haven't really heard Kamala, right?
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Okay, perfect. I haven't heard so much of Kamala's, policies, except for the tip wage deal. So, I'm kind of more just waiting to hear more from her.
You could ask us.
So what I would suggest, all of her policies, just like Donald Trump, his policies went up. They were unofficial. Now they're official after the RNC. Her official policies are going to go up after the DNC, which is next week, I want to say.
Okay.
That's just how it works. Prior to Trump's official policies being up, it was just a bunch of videos of him rambling about each subject, nothing official. So I know what she has expressed that she wants to do is build out the middle class.
Tony, I know Trump said tip wage first. I already mentioned that earlier.
Except he didn't, though.
Technically,
Right.
Bernie
He
Sanders said it first.
he didn't mention it first overall. He mentioned it first in this campaign.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a good idea. But the fact is 2/3 of these restaurant workers and servers and whatnot don't even qualify because they don't get federal taxes taken out because they make so little. We need to have a real. So I don't know if you know, tipped minimum wage in this country is like $2.13.
Yeah.
It's
Off
crazy.
of what percentage would that be? I've always done tip is off of 25% of the bill. That's how I've always played the game. But
it's a pretty small
of the bill.
percentage. Yeah.
So they get $2.13, and then whatever tips they get. And if they don't, I only know this because I used to work for a labor software, and I had to learn all the labor laws. But if they don't make minimum wage with their tips, then the employer has to cover it. So they're guaranteed
It depends on
at
what
least
state
the minimum
you're
wage.
Depends on what
And if
state
anyone
you're
is,
into, though. Like California,
if anyone-
they paid minimum wage, and in Washington State, they get paid what their minimum wage is, which has been continuously going up on top of their tips. But yeah, states like Virginia, Georgia, Louisiana, there's a lot of states that only pay $2.13 because they assume that you're going to make up for whatever their state's minimum wages and tips, and if they don't, they're supposed to pay you.
Here's
But
what
there's a
worries me
loophole
about
around
that.
that. There's a loophole around that, though, because that's assuming that you
there is always
work
a
a certain
loophole.
amount of hours per week. Because
Yeah, but
if
here's
they
what
only
worries me
pay you
about that.
bi-weekly, they'll average that all out together because some restaurants are assholes.
In addition,
the thing is
if anyone's
the
concerned,
money you get paid
as
is
far
that
as the military
someday I can
getting
speak.
paid,
Hey, Daddy. Logic L was trying to say something.
oh God, I'm sorry.
It's okay, Daddy.
The thing I get concerned about, and this is someone who's had jobs that they worked for tips, basically the hourly wage that you made was essentially what covered your taxes.
Correct.
So if you're in a situation where you're not going to get taxed on your tips, your employer may be in a position where they don't have to pay you an hourly wage anymore.
That's messed up.
Exactly.
And that is one thing I'm concerned about. I mean, I think it's like $6 here in my state.
Well, then they could also
our
turn a
minimum
lot of
wage is
employees
15.
into tipped employees too. I don't know how I feel about the tipping part yet, but overall, Daddy, are you in bed right now? If so, you could just lie to me and say that you are. You're moving around a bunch.
What are these? Sorry, this is my first time being in a live chat. What are these tokens next to our name?
It means that you have 50 cents.
I made
that's
50
like 20.
cents. Hell yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, Jacob's made 50 cents.
Very awake, and I am unfortunately very awake because I have to be up at 4 in the morning. But
I guess
this is
going into the.
We could bring up problematic people.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Daddy, but I guess going back into the political aspect,
Jacob
this is
said
more
Daddy.
talking about Minnesota specific. I honestly was perfectly fine with Walz as our governor. I think he was great economically, but I think a lot of his policies involving multicultural aspects were just kind of skewed more towards just him gaining more votes and popularity. I remember not too long ago, the Somalian population is very popular in Minneapolis, correct? One of his plans was kind of disperse them throughout in the rural area, and that's kind of where I live, is in rural Minnesota. And we had a plan where there was going to be like a little town where they would have, you know, specifically Somalian people. They'd have a mosque in that community. Good on paper. But the problem is in Minnesota, and especially the rural area, is the job market is very tough. Very tough. And myself live in a rural community where we call it a pillow community, where it's basically just people live there. There's hardly any jobs to go around. And so there was, you know, they made an AI model where the town was going to be set up. It looked beautiful. And now there's a lawsuit against them because it ended up failing. They didn't even start it a year into talking it up. And that's because, you know, why would they move out of the cities where the jobs are into the rural community where there's no jobs? You know, you move into that community and then have to drive 30, 45 minutes back to the cities just to go work. So I think that's just something where, you know, he was kind of trying to play more towards the people, where he makes it seem like, you know, he's for them, but he didn't actually create enough jobs around them to actually give them, you know, opportunities to work, you know, and that's the big thing, you know, other than, you know, farm working is obviously a job to work, but that's very minimal pay, you know. So, you know, I myself, when I worked in Minnesota, I would always go down to the cities. I used to be a apprentice carpenter, and I would always go to the cities to go work. So it just didn't really, it was good on paper, and it definitely made him more popular for saying stuff like that, but it just didn't make sense. And in the end, it didn't work out at all. And now there's a lawsuit because of it.
Hang on one second, y'all. Can I do a bit of a dramatic reading, Amanda? Mm-hmm. Timmy Stein says in all caps, Harris gloats about destroying black fans when she jailed thousands peeps for smoking a joint.
Like I said,
Timmy,
both sides are terrible. There's no such thing as a good politician in that level who actually thinks about us.
Well, the fact is, Harris actually started the Back on Track program. So that point was just utterly ridiculous because she reduced the intake rate and the recidivism. Like, she literally made it so people didn't come back, and she got their records clean, schooling, work training, and they got to go on their merry way. All they had to do was get back on track. So that was just a lie. I mean, I'm not saying Kamala didn't do anything in her time that might have pissed somebody off, but that one was a lie.
Another thing I'd like to point out too, this isn't targeted towards the Democratic side or Republican side at all. It's just mainly this organization. You know, when the George Floyd murder happened, I don't know if that's an okay word to say. Or
we usually say unaliving.
Unaliving, yeah. The George Floyd unaliving happened. The big problem that I had with that was the overwhelming support the BLM movement had. Not the movement, but the organization. Because, you know, everybody started donating towards them. Everybody was thinking they're going to make a difference. And then it comes out that the people who created that organization ended up, you know, living in mansions in a white community. So another thing that I think, you know, if Kamala started talking about, you know, not just donating to organizations in general, but maybe making receipts, looking at where these donations are actually going to, that would be a huge impact, you know. So we could see, like, okay, we're donating to a big organization, and then we could see this big organization gives it to this community towards schools or towards, you know, improved police work or stuff like that. Just something to actually improve communities instead of just
hang on,
big organization.
Slow down, Jacob.
Well, hang on. So I feel like a lot of that
is exactly representative of the conversation we were having before, where, you know, the mainstream media will try to tell you that, you know, such and such, so somebody somewhere had some organization pledge something to them or whatever. It's not. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, where basically they're telling you that.
Oh, Ivy, are you sleeping? I think Ivy's night-night. Night-night, Ivy.
I guess it's 1:30 where I'm at, so.
They're basically telling you that, you know, these
That was really
these
cute
folks
snoring, though.
are
So
not reliable and have been manipulated by just regular people instead of, you know, folks that are actually knowledgeable about these things. Yeah.
Correct, but I guess what I would be saying too is, you know, like I said, I think at the beginning of when I joined, you know, I haven't really heard a lot from Kamala. She hasn't really like talked to the media a whole lot. She's starting
Yeah, she
to.
has.
Not from what I've heard. Like I said, you could prove me wrong. I haven't personally
she
heard
talked
a
to the
lot.
media after the Arizona rally. If you wanted to go look up that interview, she's
When was
also
that?
talking to Arizona was 2 nights ago, I think.
2 nights.
Night ago.
Okay, no, yeah, I've been pretty busy. My niece just visited and she was sick, so I haven't been paying too much attention to that stuff lately.
She also did a late night host. But what I would say is, after the DNC convention, because she's only been the nominee for 3 weeks, whereas Trump announced his candidacy back in November of 2022, he had more time to prepare, and now we're spending time. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Catching up.
No, you're good.
And so
Sometimes that
after the
works.
DNC convention, we should see stuff on her platform. I know that she's talked about building out the middle class. Did you know that while she was a senator, she actually proposed this thing called the LIFT Act? And it was a tax credit for the middle class, and only the middle class, because the freaking wealthy people don't need any more tax breaks.
Nope.
That's for damn sure.
Sorry, I just want to mention the people in the chat. I know YouTube and Google is free, but I'm not Googling politics every single second of my life. I'm trying to live my life too.
Just ignore the comments.
Just ignore them.
When it comes to
I
Google,
know, I'm just trying
right?
to let people know.
Google is, oh God, somebody said this so perfectly the other day.
Search
Google is a,
Search engine.
fuck, not
Search engine.
a search engine. No,
Search engine.
no.
Search engine. God damn it. Search engine.
No,
Search
no.
engine. Daddy. Daddy, don't make me come out there.
Okay, no, actually, I will say this too.
The fucking search engine.
Another thing that I really don't like what Google did. I don't know if you guys have ever
That's
tried
cute, Jacob.
this.
That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. Hey, Carrie, please be problematic. How are you? Are you problematic, Carrie? Hi. Hi, Amanda. I'm just kidding.
Carrie is not loading in.
God damn it, Carrie, load. Hurry.
Sorry,
That's what it was.
Were you guys going to talk about something? Could I continue, please? I didn't mean to interrupt you guys, but
Yeah. Go ahead, Jacob.
just another thing that I just did not like, especially from a massive search engine like Google, was the whole Trump assassination fiasco, where if you try and Google Trump assassination, it doesn't show up like any recommendations like it would with any other thing that you would search. So that's just another thing, like, I just don't like. Like, you don't have to be doing that as a major search engine. That's just, it's stuff that riles up the other side. It doesn't make the other side happy. You know, if we're searching for a good president that's going to unite the country, and by doing stuff like that, it's just.
Do you know how to use
hang on. So first of all, how is searching up assassination of a president in any way, shape, or form going to unite the country? That's question number one. Number two, the thing I was going to say before, Google is a search engine, not an answer engine.
Correct.
Yes. So it can give you results, sure, but a lot of the results that you search in Google are probably based on your own, echo chamber sort of whatever beliefs you aspire to, whatever you know.
Daddy, if you're gonna talk all hot and slow like that, I'm gonna need you to turn your camera on.
It's just the only thing that I don't like about it is you could search up the Kennedy assassination and it'll give you search recommended links and stuff like that while you're typing it up. But the Trump assassination, it just leaves it blank, and that's just
maybe because he's still alive. And did you put attempt on the end of there and put it in parentheses?
It doesn't matter if he's still
Do
alive.
you know how to use Google, Jacob?
Oh my God, is Kennedy alive?
Welcome, Christy.
One of them is.
Hi, Christy. Please be problematic.
Hello. Sorry, I'm not problematic.
God
I'm just a nerd.
Like I said, I'm not trying to create discourse or anything like that. I'm just stating things that just make me uncomfortable with stuff like that.
Well, it looks like Sue made it up here too.
Yeah,
Sue,
did
what's
someone
on
just
your
get out of the car?
Hi, Sue.
I don't want to turn my camera on without permission.
I feel the same. I look a mess. It's almost 2:00.
Yeah. I'm getting pretty tired, so I just figured I'd just start inviting people up that have been waiting patiently. So
Whimsical just said they pulled it up and Whimsical, I'm sure you can actually search it up, but what I'm talking about, while you're in the search bar, normally you'll see suggestions on what you're searching up. And when you search up Trump assassination, nothing will come up. And that's just the thing that I don't like. It's just...
Maybe if you put attempt on the
bias.
end of that.
I don't like bias.
It's not bias. Google isn't biased, for fuck's sake. Sorry,
I really want to hear from Christy and
I've
Sue.
done it just now.
Sue.
And I have results.
Hey, Daddy. What the fuck are you doing?
Somebody's working on their truck.
That was music. I apologize.
Okay, can we say hi to Christine?
Christy and Sue, what's on your mind tonight?
Hello. Hey, Jacob. Oh, go ahead, Sue. Go ahead.
Just listening to the conversation, and again, it's kind of blowing my mind that it's so hard to wrap basic humanity.
Your connection's kind of bad, Sue. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry about that.
There's an echo again.
I'll come
Okay,
back.
try again.
Oh, I see. No, but there is okay, Christy, you're good. There is a proper way to use Google, though. If you use parentheses, if you use quotations, you have to use keywords, and because Trump wasn't unalived, it was an attempt of an unaliving.
Correct.
There's a lot of different ways to use a search engine, but Google isn't biased. But
So I'm not gonna lie, I have to sleep. But Christy, what was on your mind?
Hey, Jacob, I just had a quick question for you. Completely out of curiosity, you said you just got out of college.
Yes.
What was your major?
Business management.
Okay, interesting. So what sorts of things that you learned specifically in your studies makes you on the fence between Trump and Kamala? Like I'm
Well, luckily,
bit of a
nothing that I was taught in business administrative taught me about anything political. That wasn't the whole point. It's more just about, business administrative and business aspects, such as like how to garnish customers, stockholders, and stuff like that. It didn't have anything to do with politics. This is more just, like I said, I don't know if you joined kind of later than others, but like I said, I joined here more as like a individual who's just joining the adult world. I'm looking to buy a house and look for cars and
He's about
stuff
to
like
adult.
that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
was just more here just trying to gain opinions
They
on
didn't
like,
teach you how to use Google in a business major. They taught me how to in vet tech school. Which I'm not even done with yet. But anyways,
how to use
Diane,
Google
your
about
cats
what?
are adorable, and I would.
they
use
taught me
myself
how to
as a
use
buffer.
search engines and like with the difference between how DuckDuckGo is not a reliable search engine and things like that. But
They taught
they
me
didn't teach
Google
you
in
that,
college, and we're using dial-up.
right? It just makes me
I'm confused.
curious.
I
Ooh,
don't
Daddy
know
turned on
what's
his
going on.
camera. Ooh, ooh. Hi, Daddy. Hey. Oh, sorry. Amanda's tired. Also, hi, Real Money. Long time no see.
Good evening. And hey, Matt, I was surprised to see you still up.
I'm not.
I'm
I'm
gonna
half
warn you all
asleep.
right now that I'm probably what am I giving you? What time am I?
2:40.
At max until 2 a.m.
Okay.
Well, you can probably hear my kettle beep, but look, you can type it in. I know, from 11 hours ago, a sculpture, but it'll always say attempt because that's what
No.
it runs.
I wasn't talking about like when you actually search it up. I was talking about like when you're in the search bar while you're
and I
typing
searched-
up, while you're typing it up.
And I
Are you
searched-
talking about like predictive texting in a search bar? I
I don't know
can't,
what he's talking
Jacob.
about because it's
No,
all
I
over
was,
here.
I was talking about
All
like
over
while
Google.
you're typing it up in the search bar, it doesn't show up. The last time I tried it, that was about a week ago. It might have changed. Like I said,
It's already done
prove
it.
me wrong.
Here's the key thing. If you're looking to learn to adult and you don't know how to use Google correctly to search for the price of vehicles or interest rates or the best person for the mortgage, you need to go back to very basic computer courses.
I wasn't talking about that at all.
No, you came up, you want to buy houses, you want to do all this. If you don't know how to use Google, you're not going to be able to buy a house correctly or
I
research
wasn't
a
talking
car
about
or an
that at
interest
all.
rate on the different cars.
I wasn't talking
And I've
about
heard
it at all.
right wingers so many times talk about the Trump unaliving attempt not being available in Google like as a talking point. So it's not the first time that I've heard that.
I feel like we're just like misunderstanding each other.
There, the Trumpers even made a statue out of nails that's going to be put up at the place where it was attempted as a tribute to him with his fist in the air. That's from 11 hours ago. It's all over Google.
I wasn't talking about the actual search results. I was talking about while you're searching it up. Usually, Google gives you recommendations on what you think you're typing up.
That's just called. You can turn predictive text off.
Yeah, that's just an option you can turn on and off.
Where you can type the numbers 3 times or 2 times to get the actual letter up if you want as well. Hell, you can go back to a typewriter if you want. You're mad
I don't know how we got so
at Google's predictive text.
Right, but like all that I
Again,
was
you can't-
saying,
again,
like
I'm just going to take a step
again,
back.
I wasn't trying to
If you come
like
into a room
create.
with grown adults complaining about Google's predictive text as it got you.
And
you want to learn how to adult. These are your words. So
I legitimately don't know how we got here.
neither do I know. I'm going to just go back on mute because it's sorry.
But like I said, this was like I said at the beginning of when I joined. Like you're absolutely correct to correct me. I might be wrong. The last time I tried this was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They might have changed it, but all that I remember is about a couple weeks after it happened, when you're searching it up in the search bar without
Can we move
searching
on
it,
to, maybe
without
women's
searching
rights? Can we move on to women's rights? Because I really don't care what you did weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
Can we just move on?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what's your stance on abortion?
I don't have a stance on abortion. I'm not a woman.
Fair. That's a good answer.
I can't tell people what to do when I'm not a woman. That's just straight up. I can't say anything. I have my own beliefs and values, and I'm gonna keep that to me.
Man.
So you're not ready for Trump. I appreciate that.
Like I said, I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but like I said, I'm fringe. I'm not a diehard. I know Trump's a POS.
You just confirmed you're not voting for Trump.
Amanda, I know you're kind of tired too, but like I said, I'm not like a diehard. I'm not a politician fanatic. I'm not just gonna go diehard red or blue. I will vote red or blue on who I think is gonna best run this country. So I came here for opinions. I came here for what people think is right. I came here to just see what other people think. And I'm not here to argue.
Ask the women in the lives. Who's supporting women's rights? Women in the life.
You do not have to support red or blue.
And I will never.
You can support whoever the hell you want.
Exactly.
That is your fucking right. Right? But Here's what I will say. Top, from the top down, here's what a lot of people don't understand. Either they don't understand it or they don't want to believe it or whatever the hell, it doesn't matter. This is the reality of the fucking situation. Anybody that has a third party candidate that they love, doesn't matter who they are, they love this motherfucker. It could be RFK, it could be whoever the hell as a third party.
I honestly do have a lot of respect for RFK. I think he's a decent human being.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, wow. Hilarious.
Whatever.
Oh, no. No.
Gosh.
No.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Excuse me. I need to get into this one.
Whoever it is.
No.
Whoever
Daddy,
it is.
Daddy,
Whoever it is.
Daddy, I need to get into this one.
I get it.
Daddy,
I get it.
Daddy.
Hey,
Daddy, you need
maybe
to
I'm gonna
hush. Daddy,
Yo,
hush.
I'm gonna let you spit.
Daddy.
I was already talking, baby.
Let me get on this one first.
I was already talking, baby.
You know, Daddy, I feel like she's going to talk faster than you, Daddy. You talk really slow, Daddy, and it makes me want to pull out my fucking teeth and shove them in my ears. Seriously.
I'm a millennial. I'll talk slow. You know what I'm saying?
No, listen. Okay. I am from Massachusetts, the land where they make the Kennedys.
Okay.
Oh my God.
RFK is a laughing stock here. We already know he is batshit crazy.
Wait, for real?
We're fully aware. We were fully aware, so we were kind of chuckling when we thought that. They were like, oh crap, people are thinking of voting for that guy? Like, his entire family is like, no, he's crazy.
Like I said, I'm here to be educated. Would you care to go further on that?
I will absolutely tell you about RFK. One, he is a absolute wingnut when it comes to vaccines, not just the COVID vaccine.
Oh yeah,
all vaccines.
Okay, yeah, that's not right.
So,
can I tell the bear story when you're done, Amanda?
Or when the racist shit about.
Well, I was going to tell the he also kept a journal of every woman that he slept with, and he rated them. He rated them 1 through 10, and had like little notes on each one on all of the women that he cheated on his wife. When she found it, he told her that she wishes she had been unalived, and that he would be so much better off without her, and to just go do it. And then she did it.
So I'm gonna redact my earlier statement. Other than that,
he found an unalived bear cub by the side of the road, and then picked it up.
No, I do remember.
Picked it up and put it in his car on his way to the airport, mind you. And then he decided, oh, I'd better not leave that in my fucking car on the way to the airport because it'll probably fucking rot in there. Maybe because he wanted to skin it and consume it on his way to but then he was like, wait a second, I'm going to a steak restaurant before I go to the airport, so I can't do that either. So he decided to just fucking dump it down in Manhattan, or whatever that fucking park is. Yeah, that park thing. So he just dumped it there, and then told Roseanne Barb all about it. Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
I'll admit that what I just said was wrong, but on an off note, Daddy Swags, you should have turned on your camera a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. Rawr.
Daddy?
Why?
Y'all have been killing me. Oh my god.
I mean, maybe if you had turned it on a while ago, just saying.
Can I ask the women there, out of Trump, RFK Jr., and E. Harris, who's actually supporting women's rights?
It would be Harris.
Kamala.
Correct. Yeah, I would definitely say she's definitely supporting women's rights the most.
Based upon your statement, you'd never tell anybody how to utilize their body, but you're saying you would use your vote, which is even more egregious, because that's actually passing laws to enforce your egregious ideas. So I'm going to help you out here as a grown man as well, because you came about looking to adult. You can't vote for Trump or RFK if you support the women in this room.
I guess the best response I can give to that, and it's definitely
no
going
response
to
other than
sound.
I'll vote for Harris.
No, it's not going to be supporting Trump at all. It's going to sound selfish, and I know it's going to sound selfish, but the way I am currently basing my vote is who I think is going to best help me.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Jacob.
I just don't know what else to do.
You asked for advice, we gave it to you, and you slapped us in the face.
Hold on. Are you rich?
Absolutely not. I grew up in a very poor family. I had to make everything myself, and that's why I'm just trying as much to focus on myself and the president that I think. Like I said, I'm not definite right now. I could easily be swayed to voting for Kamala. But the way I'm looking at it right now is I just want to vote for somebody who I think is going to give me a better lifestyle than what is currently portrayed.
Yeah, that's not Trump.
Yeah, so
Daddy?
what would give you, what would completely sway you towards Kamala?
I mean, it's tough. Like I said, I might have to start Googling stuff tomorrow, because from what I've heard from other people, it sounds like she's been saying more stuff than what I've heard about. So I'm probably just going to start doing some more research tomorrow. But I mean, essentially, the problem with the oil, I've seen a lot of people saying, we got to stop oil and stuff like that. The problem with the Keystone oil line.
Okay, so that's all a lie, but Daddy really wanted to say something.
Yes.
Go, Daddy.
He's got his hand up.
Daddy, go.